Catch your latest scores and sports highlights. Stay tuned to Africa at Play with Neto Chemane on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
It is 1400 Central African time at the second edition of Africa at Play this weekend. We're coming to you live from the world-class African Institution of Broadcasting, the SABC in Auckland Park, Johannesburg, in the Republic of South Africa, with sport and music from an African perspective. Live on DSTV Audio Bouquet Channel 802 or OpenView 628 if you are based in South Africa. If not, worry not, we've got you covered. You can connect with us online from any corner of the world on channelafrica.co.za. Also available at your fingertips on SABC Plus. If you haven't downloaded the Channel Africa app, please do so right away so you're not left behind. Do so on your Android or iOS to have the incredible experience of all things Channel Africa from an African perspective. My name is Neto Chemane. Hosiati konyangazi mumka jwaphandle kunjani moyani vuguvugu dendele. Africa at Play, Astelele Siashaya. Coming up on the show, our Zambian correspondent Namuchana Ligezo spoke with FAZ head of delegation Brian Nswana Sakulenga following Power Dynamos Football Club exit in the CAF Champions League after losing 3-1 at the hands of Pyramids FC of Egypt last night in Cairo. Power Dynamos has finished third in Group A with 7 points after having played 6 matches, winning 2, drawing once and losing 3 times. Sakulenga advised the team to go back to the drawing board and address a few areas that could help them do better in future CAF Champions League campaigns.
We are proud of Power Dynamos with their performance, which has been very encouraging and excellent. Personally, as HOD, I think I'm very happy with the levels of discipline in the players and also the unity amongst management. The performance for Power Dynamos has been excellent, and the staff actually has been equal to the task. Despite losing to Pyramids, it is that it wasn't our day today, but I know the team is not very bad. The team is doing extremely well. There are just a few things or a few areas which the Power Dynamos need to work on or iron out so that next time we'll be able to do it better, be able to defeat the other teams like Pyramids and other strong teams that are going to participate in the continental games.
MCLJ coach Rulani Mokoena admits his side had compromised their CAF Champions League hopes long before yesterday's 2-0 defeat to Mamelodi Sundowns. Reflecting on the loss to his former club, he considered the team failed to capitalize on key chances earlier in the group after leaving them with too much to do in their final fixture. Mokoena said arriving at Loftus Versfeld needing at least a point against a determined Mamelodi Sundowns was always going to be a tall order.
We didn't get knocked out today. If you review our participation in the Champions League, we we maybe let it go when we were away in Rwanda and conceding first and making it 1-1, and then in the last 10, 15 minutes, 12 minutes of the game to lose it 2-1 away from home. When you have the point in the Champions League, away from home is very, very important. And then at home, I think we had a lot of chances against Sundowns, a lot of chances. And it's important in the Champions League, once again, to win your home matches. And then we take a point when we could have taken 3, and that would have made a big difference. And Lupopo in Congo, we 0-0 with the last few minutes, and we concede a penalty that we could have done a little bit better. And even though sometimes when I review the game, I don't know how much of a penalty that would have been or should have been. But you review the situation, you review how we've done in the Champions League this season, and I don't think, and we spoke about this, I don't think this was the game that we got us knocked out of the group stages.
South Africa took a big step towards the T20 World Cup Super 8 with a commanding 7-wicket win over New Zealand in Ahmedabad. Captain Aiden Markram hailed the display as near perfect, praising the conviction and composure shown against the previously unbeaten Black Caps. The victory cements the Proteas status as one of the tournament favourites, with Markram confident the team is improving with every game.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a lot closer to the fullest of potential tonight. I thought pretty much all areas we were really good. And again, I think it just came from clarity and conviction in that plan or that ball you're going to bowl or the approach you're going to take towards a certain bowler with the bat. So it's nice to see the boys slowly but surely improving, getting better and better. And tonight was all round a really good performance.
14:06 Central African time. A very warm welcome to Africa at Play. If you have just joined us, we are together until 5 p.m. Central African time. Download the Channel Africa app. If you haven't done so, do so on your Android or iOS to have an awesome Channel Africa experience from an African perspective. Also get in touch with us on our different social media platforms at Channel Africa 1 on Insta, X, YouTube, Facebook and TikTok.
Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective.
A very warm welcome to Africa at Play. Let's update you about the latest sporting fixtures taking place on the African continent and globally, starting with the ongoing ICC Men's T20 World Cup, currently underway in India and Sri Lanka. Yesterday, heated action in Group Stage T20 22 of 55 was a match between Ireland and Oman. Ireland won that match by 96 runs, and that means Oman are in trouble as they haven't triumphed a match. And we've also witnessed Scotland taking on England, and the English won by 5 wickets with 10 balls left. New Zealand and South Africa, the Black Caps and the Proteas. The Proteas had a commanding victory, winning by 7 wickets with 17 balls left. And today there was action between Nepal and West Indies. The Windies won by 9 wickets with 28 balls left. A match that is currently underway is between the United States of America, USA, up against Namibia, the Southern African outfit. Namibia needs 90 runs in 46 balls to win this match after USA posted 199 for 4 out of 20 overs. And if you ask me, it's not a pipe dream, but it means with the remaining balls, Namibia will have to look for bigger runs like 4s and 6s to try and get the target of 88 runs, which keeps dropping as the match is underway. And there's also a match coming up at 15:30 Central African time. It is a match between India and Pakistan, and there's also action continuing tomorrow with T20 28 of 55 on the stage. It is Afghanistan up against the United Arab Emirates, UAE, and that match starts bright and early at 7:30 Central African time, followed by another fixture at 11:30. It is England taking on Italy, and it's match T20 29 of 55. Then match T20 15:30 or 55 will see Sri Lanka, the co-host nation, taking on Australia at 15:30, and Australia will be fighting for nothing but victory after going down by 23 runs against Zimbabwe, a side they never thought would beat them. And this means there are no longer minnows in global sport. On Tuesday the 17th of February, action will continue between New Zealand and Canada, and that match kicks off at 7:30 Central African time. Then at 11:30 it will be Ireland and Zimbabwe returning to the battlefield, and there's also a match at 15:30 between Scotland and Nepal. Then the Proteas of South Africa will return to the battlefield on Wednesday the 18th of February against UAE, the United Arab Emirates, and that match is scheduled for 7:30 a.m. Central African time, followed by a match at 11:30 between Pakistan and Namibia from Southern Africa. Then India will take on the Netherlands at 15:30 Central African time, with action continuing on Thursday between Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe, and that match is at 11:30, while West Indies and Italy will meet earlier on at 7:30 Central African time. Afghanistan will lock horns with Canada at 15:30 Central African time. We will continue to update you on different other fixtures after this short break.
Este é o Caleidoscópio de Canal África, com Remo Samo e João Yabalá.
A situação do ativista angolano Serrote José de Oliveira, preso desde julho, tem gerado grande preocupação internacional. Conhecido como General Nila e presidente do movimento União Nacional para a Total Revolução de Angola, Serrote iniciou uma greve de fome em protesto contra a sua prisão, que considera arbitrária. De acordo com a Amnistia Internacional, o estado de saúde do ativista está a deteriorar-se rapidamente devido à falta de acesso a cuidados médicos adequados. Para discutir o impacto deste caso e o estado da liberdade política em Angola, vamos conversar com Dito Dale, ativista e defensor dos direitos humanos.
Nós estamos diante de uma clara estratégia de aniquilar os jovens, porque quando uma pessoa está doente, deve ser assistida. Ao não proporcionar esses cuidados médicos, o que é que o regime quer? Não quer que esse jovem saia livre e com vida da prisão, quer matá-lo.
De segunda a sexta-feira, das 20 às 21 horas locais, este é o Caleidoscópio de Canal África.
Africa at Play with Neto and Neto Chemane.
14:11 Central African time. It is a busy weekend on the sporting field in different sporting codes. Let's update you about the CAF Champions League matches. Some of them took place yesterday. It is match day 6 of 6, which means the group stages are being concluded this weekend, and out of that we will get to know who meets in the quarterfinals of the CAF Champions League. And this is the same situation with the CAF Confederation Cup matches. We will update you about those matches shortly. Let's now tell you about Mamelodi Sundowns beating MC Alger. This is a meeting that happened yesterday at the Loftus Versfeld Stadium in Pretoria, the country's capital city, and Masandawana have booked a spot to the quarterfinals, and MC Alger, with Rulani Mukwena in charge, are now shown an exit door, which means they'll have to wait for the next season to try again. Al Hilal of Sudan, playing temporarily in Rwanda due to the ongoing civil war, defeated St. Eloi Lupopo of the Democratic Republic of Congo by a narrow 1-0 victory. Another match that ended in the same scoreline was Simba Sports Club of Tanzania between Stade Malien by a goal to nil. Then ES Tunis beat Petro di Luanda of Angola by 2-0 yesterday. Then it was the Pyramids taking on Power Dynamos and the reigning champions of the CAF Champions League. The Pyramids triumphed by 3-1, which means Power Dynamos have also been shown the exit door. RSB Bekane defeated Rivers United of Nigeria in a one-way traffic encounter by 3-0, and there's a match slated for today between Young Africans of Tanzania taking on JS Kabylie, and it will be followed at the same time. There will be a match between Al Ahly, the Egyptian Giants, up against AS FAR Rabat, and that will mean the conclusion of the group stages in the CAF Champions League. Let's now go to the CAF Confederation Cup, where there's also action taking place this weekend, with some of the matches having already taken place yesterday. And the match between Al Masry and Zesco United, Al Masry won that match by 2-0, beating Zesco United, which means Zesco their journey has ended yesterday. They will not make it to the quarterfinals. Zamalek defeated Kaizer Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs had a good run before yesterday's match. They were on 10 points, and all they were looking for was a draw, which they were unable to get. Zamalek defeating them by 2-1, which means Zamalek ended by 11 points, while Kaizer Chiefs remain on 10. Al Masry also on 10 points, but going through due to a superior goal difference. Then there was a match between USM Alger up against OC Safi, and that ended in a dull 0-all draw. Wydad Athletic Club of Morocco will be up against Azam of Tanzania, and this match is at 4 p.m. Central African Time. Another match at the same time is Maniema Union and Nairobi United of Kenya, and there's also a match 2 hours later at 1800 between Joliba and San Pedro, and Stellenbosch FC will also play at the same time against Singida Black Stars. It is a dead rubber for Stellenbosch, but they are playing for experience and pride, as they are already in the basement of the ongoing CAF Confederation Cup, while Singida is placed third, and Singida will be looking for nothing but victory. And there's also a match between CRP Louisdat, and they will be up against Otoho Di Oyo, and that match is at 1800 Central African Time. Let's now go to the United Kingdom, where the Premier League action continues today, with some of the matches having taken place already. And the matches that are still coming up, it will be match day 31 of 38, where Wolves will be taking on Arsenal, and Wolves are looking for nothing but victory against the Giants of London, and that match is on Wednesday the 18th of February at 10 p.m. Central African Time. Match day 27 will continue on Saturday the 21st of February at 5 p.m. Central African Time. Aston Villa taking on Leeds United, while Brentford FC will be up against Brighton and Hove Albion also at the same time. Another match at 5 p.m. will be Chelsea the Blues taking on Burnley, while West Ham United the Hammers will take on AFC Bournemouth, and that match is at 19:30 Central African Time. Manchester City the Citizens will be looking for crucial 3 points against Newcastle United, and this match is at 10 p.m. Central African Time. Then on Sunday the 22nd, action continues at 4 p.m. between Nottingham Forest the Tricky Trees taking on Liverpool You'll Never Walk Alone. Crystal Palace returns to the pitch on Sunday the 22nd against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and that match is at 4 p.m. and at the same time it will be Sunderland versus Fulham, while Tottenham Hotspur takes on the Gunners of London. Arsenal at 18:30, and Everton will be up against Manchester United, the Red Devils, on Monday the 23rd at 10 p.m. Central African Time to wrap up the weekend that was. Let's also go to Germany in the Bundesliga, where action continues today after some of the matches took place yesterday, and it is that time of the season where everyone is looking for nothing but maximum points, as the leagues are in the second stanza of the proceedings. Hamburger SV went down against Union Berlin yesterday by 3-2, while Eintracht Frankfurt defeated Borussia Mönchengladbach by 3-0. Werder Bremen went down against Bayern München, the log leaders and reigning champions, by 3-0. Another match that ended with the same scoreline was Hoffenheim beating SC Freiburg, and Bayer Leverkusen, 2024 champions, defeated St. Pauli in an avalanche of goals, beating them by 4-0 in a one-way traffic encounter. VfB Stuttgart defeated FC Köln by 3-1, and today we're expecting FC Augsburg, who will be playing against Heidenheim at 16:30 Central African Time. One more match 2 hours later at 18:30, it will be RB Leipzig taking on Wolfsburg, and then we will wait patiently for action to continue on Friday with match day 23 of 34, and this goes to show that most most leagues across the globe are in the second stanza. Let's go to Spain and to check what's the latest in the La Liga matches that are taking place. Yesterday there was action between Getafe and Villarreal. Getafe won by 2-1, while Espanyol and Celta Vigo played to a 2-2 draw, and there was a dull 0-0 draw on Friday between Elche and Osasuna. Then there was a match yesterday between Sevilla and Alaves, with Sevilla getting a red card out of that match, but they managed to secure a 1-1 draw. Real Madrid came in strong against Real Sociedad, beating them by 4-1, while Real Oviedo will take on Athletic Club today at 3 p.m. Central African Time. Rayo Vallecano will meet Atletico Madrid at 17:15, while Levante will be up against Valencia at 19:30 Central African Time. Mallorca will take on Real Betis at 10 p.m. Central African Time. Girona and Barcelona will wrap up the weekend that was tomorrow at 10 p.m. Central African Time. 14:19 Central African Time. A very warm welcome if you have just joined us. This is Africa at Play. We take a short break. When we come back, we will be heading to Zambia, Lusaka, where our correspondent Namuchana is having a conversation with the football pundits, the award-winning sports journalist Wezi Mazunda, Musonda Chibulu, a football analyst, as well as a former first president Simata. Thank you for choosing Africa's number one. Asteleli Siashaya.
Madapiri pazoshitika. Madapiri pazoshitika.
Madotolo oposa 1,500 amene amagwira ntchito yaulere mu zipatala zaboma mdziko la Zambia azanyanyala ntchito lachisanu sabata ya mawa, ndipo Daniel Shabanda kutambasula nkhani.
Madotolo oposa 1,500 amene amagwira ntchito mopanda malipiro apamwezi dziko la Zambia akuyembekezera kuyamba kunyanyala ntchito. Ichi ndi chifukwa chakuti boma lalephera walemba ntchito monga mmene lidawalonjezera. Channel Africa News yalankhulana ndi mkulu wa bungwe la madotolo la Resident Doctors Association of Zambia, Dr. Paul Chiwe. Akukumeza kuti madotolo ambiri amene akugwira ntchito mu zipatala zaboma akugwira ntchito yaulere, ndipo ali ndi chiyembekezo chakuti tsiku lina adzalembedwa ntchito ndi boma.
Zochitika pa nthawi ya 6 koloko kufikira 7 koloko madzulo. Lolemba mpaka lachisanu ndi Madapiri.
You like what we do on Channel Africa? Then follow us on our socials. Channel Africa 1 on all social pages. And get the African perspective.
14:21 Central African Time, and Namuchana is standing by to introduce our topic of the day, where we're talking all things beach soccer on the African continent. And the question we are asking is, what can be done to promote beach soccer to young people across the African continent? You can drop us your WhatsApp or voice note on the number +27 83 288 6684.
With continued efforts to promote and develop beach soccer, Africa is poised to make a significant impact on the global stage. We are asking, what is the state of beach football on the African continent and what can be done to promote it among young people? Mr. Smata is with us today. Mr. Smata, thank you so much for having taken time to talk to Channel Africa. We are looking at beach football. Mr. Smata, we have a lot of lakes like here in Zambia and the rivers. Personally, I haven't seen people playing beach football. Mr. Smata, what is the state of beach football on the African continent and what can be done really to promote it among young people?
Beach soccer struck me once when I was reading a sports report, and it carried the story that Switzerland were the world champions. And I said to myself, Switzerland, landlocked country, how can they become the world champions? So it set my mind thinking in some areas of our country, which is practically sand, and we have 3, 4, almost 5 provinces that are like that, but you can still find sand in all other provinces. I said, why don't we work on beach football? And it's even, I think, less capitalized than 11-a-side football. You don't need boots. The pitches are very small. Why don't we do that? In Zambia, an association was formed, even a committee created for that. But I have seen no result like in futsal, 5-a-side. But we have opportunity. Also, I mean, you would hear stories of our Premier League sides going to pre-season training in some of these provinces which are very sandy, coming out most times to win the league because they were fit, they were tougher and all that. I said to myself, beach football would even help because there are certain skills that you acquire in beach football that when you come out to play an 11-a-side, you're a genius. So it has tremendous opportunity, but I don't think we have sat in any forum just to discuss that item. And it need not be like doing when something develops, we want to attach it to Premier League or pass rules that make it compulsory for Premier Leagues to have those kind of sport and therefore continue to burden the Premier Leagues. It can run as an association under the jurisdiction of an FA and affiliation to it and produce marvelous results because we have them. We're a landlocked country, for instance, here in Zambia, but many countries are on the coast of Africa. Many countries are near sun, even in the desert. In my view, that should have been the number one sport in the soccer sector. So hopefully we can promote it into big league soccer also one day.
Mr. Smata, thank you so much for having taken time to talk to Channel Africa today. The views of Mr. Smata, former Football Association of Zambia president. I also have with me Wezi Mazonda, sports analyst. Wezi, we are looking at beach football. We know that this is something that isn't yet up there here in Zambia. We are yet to witness beach football getting organized here in Zambia. But we know that on the African continent, some countries are already up and running. Wezi, what is the state of beach football on the African continent and what can be done to promote it among young people?
Firstly, what you need to do is you need to have the facilities. Do you have the facilities? Do you have the place where beach football can be played? Because it's very common amongst countries that are near the coastline. You know, those in the edges of Africa, around Africa, that are near the coastline. Those, if they invest very well up north there, teams are very good. You have the Senegals that get to do so well. But then it should also be encouraged amongst inland countries, Central Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, those countries that are landlocked, like Zambia, for instance, is a landlocked country. So we have rivers, lakes, so areas like those obviously have a place where you can be able to build infrastructure for beach soccer. Then attract children to come and play. Children are not difficult in introducing them to these sports. They learn quickly, they're very active. They need people who are passionate to teach them about it, people who have the know-how. In as many coaches as possible in this field who know how to attract these children to go to the pitch, to the football pitch, to go and play this beach soccer. Very interesting. It keeps them fit. It keeps them away from indulging in bad activities. They have a pool of sport to pick from. There is football where you use the grass, and now you have this other form of football where you play on sand, which is something that's very interesting. Expose them to beach soccer at a tender age. Do we have competitions for beach soccer? I don't think so. I think it's just at senior level for now. So let's have competitions tailored for that. School competitions, youth community competitions in the country, regionally, then we go continentally, then globally. It's going to be good. And besides, these are the future. When you invest in the children, the young people, you're investing in the future. Most importantly, let the infrastructure be there. With infrastructure, put money into this venture. It's a project, a good project. Put money into it. Get everything done in a good way. And let these kids be exposed to role models in beach soccer. Who are the stars? Talk to them. Let them talk to the girls and the boys and tell them how good a sport beach soccer is and how they can enhance their careers and the advantages of playing on such a surface and how entertaining it is. All the good things about the sport, because this is what young people need. A variety of opportunities should be presented to them so that they're kept active and fit at the end of the day.
Wezi, as always, thank you so much for having taken time to talk to us today.
Thank you so much.
The views of Wezi Masunda.
Well, for beach football in Africa, which is a growing sport, really, there are a few countries that are making significant strides in it. I think that the 2024 Africa Beach Soccer Cup of Nations, which was held in Egypt, did show that the continent is embracing beach football. There's a lot of talent and competitiveness as well. We know that Senegal, did emerge victorious, just like they did at the men's football Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. They secured their fifth title insofar as beach football is concerned, the Senegalese. And it was good to see Mauritania making a remarkable debut, reaching the finals. When it comes to football, I recall in 1974, Zambia, the men's football, that is not beach football, reaching the Africa Cup of Nations in 1974 finals against Zaire, the only twice played final in the history of African football, which was won then by Zaire, the Democratic Republic of the Congo now. We have seen growth in the game because of participation. And just to digress a little bit, not too long ago we had Dr. Patrice Motsepe, the president of the Confederation of African Football, talking about increasing the number of teams from 24 that took part in 2024 Africa Cup of Nations, obviously played in 2025 into 2026, to 28 from 24 in the next edition, which will be in 2028, the so-called Pamoja in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. But what is important for beach football is that it can take lessons from men's football by creating more competitions. This will excite the young people. I noted that even countries like Malawi and Tanzania are beginning to get interested in this. Malawi do have the Lake Malawi as well. Tanzania does have wonderful beaches, so that is key insofar as football is concerned. But in a country like Zambia, without a coastline or an ocean, we do have the western province of Zambia. The Barose Plains are beautiful, where beach football can be played. What is important is to have competitions, and then the young people will know that the game is there to be played. And then infrastructure development as well. I spoke about in Zambia, the Barotse Plains, but also we do have a famous beach, which is called the Samfia Beach in the north of the country. That can be developed, or even in around the southern province, of Zambia, in Chirundu, in the Kariba area, just to give as an example, the country without a coastline, but that has got beautiful beaches where this beach football can be promoted, particularly for young people. And then I think that partnerships and collaborations are extremely important. I know that the African Beach Soccer Union has collaborated with the Beach Soccer Worldwide in a number of ways which are aimed to promote the sport in Africa. And I think that we need more of this. We need more of training, competitions and infrastructure, development. And also, I think that much is given when it comes to men or women's football on the pitch. And as such, growing sports such as beach football are given a blind eye. I think that there's need to bridge the financial disparities in terms of funding and investment, which would be critical insofar as attracting the young people is concerned. Because obviously, sport is now a business. I've always been emphasizing this, and young people get employment. And if there's a lot of investment, corporate entities come on board, infrastructure development, then the young people will be excited, especially if there'll be a return insofar as winners, prize monies and individual accolades are concerned. Because the competition from sport, generally intra-sport, in sport, if you like, is huge. It's massive. And so if you don't make beach football attractive, it becomes extremely difficult, because we'll be fighting with things like tennis, for example, or golf, which are going to give people, a return when they invest their time, energies, and resources. So I think that for beach football, very exciting prospects, but will open up also areas in certain countries, like, for example, Zambia, where we do not really have a coastline. We do not have a coastline at all. And so we could develop the in-country, beaches, which are beautiful. Like I say, the Barose Plains are fantastic, Kwamungu, and in places like Mansa as well as Kariba, it will help to open up, these countries, to more activity. And I think that beach football presents that extraordinary opportunity for the young people to get involved in it.
We were looking at beach football on the African continent. We were asking, what is the state of beach football on the African continent, and what can be done to promote it among young people? For Channel Africa Sport, Namchana from Zambia.
Africa at Play, beautifully, happily marrying sports and music.
But I told you, like, the African boys is different, yeah? Innit? Now you in love, innit? It's deep, innit? Yeah, and I be in Mayfair with my London ting. We don't play fair, so I'm kinda chase. I call it my Prada miss, cause I bought 8 grand, baby, knock your feet. Baby, knock your feet. Knock your feet. Yeah, baby, knock your feet. Baby, knock your feet. Knock your feet. Baby, nah. Yeah. She said she wanna go to Malibu. I do everything she wanna do. So I used to black car, private wealth just to fly her through. You know everything comfortable. Told her meet me at the airport. Meet me at the airport. Nah, better yet, baby girl, won't you meet me at the clearport? Let's fly private. You ain't gotta pack a damn thing. What you think is fucking casual?
Now that I found love like this, seldomly does come around. I want to feel it. Please let me know if you're intentionally touching my soul. Sweet smell, sweet, sweet smell, smell, 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 sweet smell, sweet, sweet smell.
There goes my street cred. I mean, I never saw myself shooting TikTok challenges about who is more emotional or talking on the phone for hours or taking long strolls through the park. There goes my street cred. I never knew a love like this. You gave me the inspo for me to write this. You my future baby, mama, I want kids. So basically, girl, need a more life thing. So, with the ball drum, I don't really care about your man. I'm a pesa the uppercut with the ball drum. You ain't gotta waste your time. You will never find this kind of love. I want you, ain't yours. You know my love is true and soft. Love your new heels, you look cute, of course. But how about we change that to some Louboutins? Or maybe some Giuseppe's instead. Remember when you left me in bed and you took my black card and you went to the mall? You could live like that every day. Come on, let's move to the motherland. It's so beautiful, it's fun to learn. Baby girl, gonna man. Cause every kiss takes me to La La Land.
Now that I found love like this, seldomly does come around. I want to feel it. Please let me know if you're intentionally touching my soul. Sweet smell, sweet, sweet smell, smell, 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 sweet smell, sweet, sweet smell.
Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
No be choice to make we dey check for the light too. Alone, anti wise too. Add it to economize too. Alone, on a mission. How many men follow me come? Alone, go to think I go by the ball on my jari. Ikele bitches, ikele bitches. I'm on it, move like I'm speed racing. So fast they couldn't believe it. Ikele bitches, ikele bitches. I'm on it, move like I'm speed racing. So fast they couldn't believe it. Dropped out of school from the first day. My teacher look at money. And my customers when they call me. Last time I checked, I was balling on the Sunday. Open the bank on the Sunday. Alone, for God's sake. Sure you know they see money working. My Ferrari, they play. Two Lamborghini, they play. Maybach, they play. Dropped up the Rolls Royce, they play. Soon I go wake up in a new Bugatti, they play. Ikele bitches, ikele bitches. I'm on it, move like I'm speed racing. So fast they couldn't believe it. Ikele bitches, ikele bitches. I'm on it, move like I'm speed racing. So fast they couldn't believe it. Too many mileage, man never sleep for like 9 days. Phone they vibrate, then they find me. If not find me, then she slide in. They play, just they play. Straight from my chipalago, private check ni man fago. No more these days, then just they take the trap like joke, but then the trap la man tago. Ikele bitches, ikele bitches. I'm on it, move like I'm speed racing. So fast they couldn't believe it. Ikele bitches, ikele bitches. I'm on it, move like I'm speed racing. So fast they
14:40 Central African Time. It is an awesome song by Burna Boy, loved by many on the African continent and globally. And this song is titled "They Play." And before that, we played you our very own Casper Nyovest from Southern Africa in South Africa, all the way from the country's northwest province. And he was saying "Summer Love" featuring Ray. It is a special time to talk all things the sport of karate with an exciting gentleman who's devoted his life to the world of the sport.
Hi there. Do you want to elevate your business and give it a voice in South Africa and Africa as a whole? Well, in that case, let Channel Africa make this a possibility. Channel Africa is willing to advertise your business for as little as 30,000 rands or $1,719.18. To get access to these great rates, send all requests to mukwenata@SABC. That's MOKOENATA@SABC. Channel Africa, the African perspective. From football fields to finish lines,
Eliud Kipchoge storms into the history books.
Neto Chemane brings you sports on Africa at Play.
14:41 Central African Time. A very warm welcome to Africa at Play. If you have just joined us, Asdeleli Siyashaya. Shihan, also known as Master Tulani Sibisi, a renowned Kyokushin karate master, founder of the African Full Contact Karate Organization, shortened for AFCO, and the International Kyokushin Kai Karate Federation, IKKF, South Africa representative, based in Katlehong in the east of Johannesburg. He is celebrated for developing local talent, promoting women's karate, and leading competitive teams to national and international success. He is a team player in his community, and as a karate coach, he trains both junior and senior divisions. And I always believe that the nation builders are those that takes an initiative to say, what can I do to bring change and to make a difference in my community? And if you look at each other, you'll end up with nothing on the table in terms of what needs to be done. And I always say big ups to all the nation builders for the initiative, because when you do that, you are building the nation, you are bringing change to the community, and you are also elevating champions of tomorrow. Let's welcome Shihan Tulani Sibisi. Shihan, a very good day and a very warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for hosting us today. We really appreciate the opportunity that we're getting. Siyabonga kakhulu.
Thank you so much for coming through on time. It shows that karate is a sport of discipline. When you are called 30 minutes before, you pitch before the show even starts. And for me, I want to say salute for that. Let's get on to it. What drew your attention to the sport of karate?
I grew up as a single son at my family house. So my neighbor, Sensei Opa Muyaketi, he's the one who recruited me in early 1980s to come and join him. He was also training by that time. So he pulled me up and said, come, let's go and join a dojo in Katlehong Art Center where I grew up. I grew up in Msiliki, in Katlehong Msiliki section. Then I fall in love with the sport when I went to the dojo.
How do you know, how do you feel knowing that it took someone drawing you to the sport in the Honorable Sensei Opa Mweketsi to say, come and join the sport that you knew nothing about? Look at you today. You've hit the rooftop of the sport. You are a Shihan.
I'm very much happy and I'm impressed because I never thought one day I'll end up being here as a Shihan or an instructor operating more than 13 clubs within the country in Africa. So I always look at him as somebody who changed my life, because if he didn't do that, I wouldn't be here where I am today because of him. When I went there, I went there with an empty hand, empty head, but today I fully believe that I've learned a lot, and that's why I'm keep on carrying on. I wish many people can join the sport of karate, because it teaches us discipline and the respect.
I'm thinking when anyone starts karate, it doesn't matter how much of a good fighter you are, you will get a hiding because you still need to master the technique. What happens after getting a hiding? What is this thing that says, go back?
Don't even mention that, because when I went there, the first person who gave me a hiding, it was a female. I couldn't believe it. Remember, when you start, we've got this mentality that karate it's a men's sport. But when I went there, I met a lot of women and girls. Then some of them, they were teaching us while I was still young, at the early age, while I was still wearing a white belt. One of the females was a brown belt that time, Lirado. She's the one, after showing me that karate is not all about power. I think that's the thing made me to go back there. Then I realized that I still have a lot to learn from different people.
For the benefit of our listeners who have not given attention to the sport of karate, they only know the name karate and they know that it's a sport where people wear white overalls or white suits and they've got belts in different colors. And that's all they know. And they see kicks on TV when there's a Chinese movie, but they know little about the sport. How do you define the sport of karate?
We do have different sports of karate. In fact, is divided into two. We've got the semi-contact, then we've got the full contact karate, of which full contact is the kyokushin that we are doing. And most of the people, they tend to misunderstand the thing that is different, because when you do full contact, we go power, and in the semi-contact, that's where people, they punch and pull back. So our karate, a full contact kyokushin, we teach our students to be able to defend themselves when it comes to a real life. That's the most important thing, because not only fighting, we also teach you the means or the ways of protecting yourself. Moving away, it doesn't mean you are afraid, but it's a part of defending yourself.
And talking about defending yourself, let's talk about self-defense, because karate is one of those sports that provides one or equips one with the ability to be able to defend themselves when they're being bullied or when someone starts a fight just because you are a quiet person and they think they can take advantage, and only to find you are not a walk in a park.
Yes. We discourage our karateka to fight at schools. We discourage them even to fight in the community, because we know you can hurt somebody, and if it goes further and they discover that you're training karate, it's a problem, because they will say, but how do you use your karate to somebody who doesn't train karate? You are categorized as a weapon as you are walking, so you are dangerous. So you need to be more disciplined and respect, and to be obedient by all means at all time. No matter how the situation it is, no matter how it escalates, how far, you need to keep your cool at all times.
So you'd rather avoid a situation than fight back.
Exactly.
That does not mean you're a coward.
That means you're not a coward.
You're just being disciplined.
You're just being disciplined.
There you have it. That's Shihan Tulani CBC. Let's talk about different colors, different belts. What do they imply, and what's the sequence?
Yes, the white belt, that's the entry of our karate, the white belt. The orange belt, that means you are still walking around, you're trying to find yourself. Then we go to blue belt. Now we're saying your eyes are a little bit open. You can see see all the directions. On the yellow belt, that's where now we start seeing whether you've got an interest in what we are doing. Most of the people, they don't reach that power, because in that white and blue, that's where we're testing your power, we're testing your mentality and everything. When you go to green, we started acknowledging that you're becoming a senior now. When you go to brown belt, you've got responsibilities now of teaching other people who are coming behind you. When you go to Shodan is the first black belt, you're becoming a junior instructor now. So you can instruct, you can give instructions, you can command, we can rely on you, because you have spent plus minus 4 years with us. We know that even if I'm not there and you're running the torch, I know everything will be run smoothly, like I'm there as a senior instructor.
How do you get to become a sensei?
You grade, it's like a syllabus. There's a syllabus that we follow, like at school. There's a certain syllabus that you follow. Then from this syllabus, each and every year we grade twice. We'll go for the first grade in April, and we go for the second grade in November. So step by step, you master the syllabus. Then at the end, you write your examination and you do your practicals. Then you get your belt.
What's the ideal age for a child to start being part of being a karateka?
At the early age of 4 or 5, I will think parents should allow their children to come and join the sport of karate.
There you have it from Chemane, also known as Master Thulani Sibisi, talking the sport of karate with us. He is the founder of AFCO, and he's based in the east of Johannesburg in Ekurhuleni. A little later on, we will be talking to our teenager in sport, Owe Tumbiko, who is a 15-year-old who is a karateka, and he's currently wearing a green belt. We'll find out what does that green belt mean to him, but also his education, because we encourage that athletes must also have a backup of education, so that in an event that they are faced with a life-threatening injury, then they've got education as a backup, and it's just good to have that good knowledge. 14:50 Central African Time. Let's take a short break. The conversation on all things karate in South Africa and the African continent continues shortly.
Tivani é o amante da música de corpo e alma.
Eu amo música africana.
Ele aprecia todos os tipos de melodias e passa os seus dias a ouvir a Channel Africa. Adivinha só, a Channel Africa quer ajudar um Tivani e os amantes da música em todo o lado a descobrir ainda mais música incrível. Por isso, a Channel Africa está a convocar artistas africanos a submeterem as suas músicas. Músicos, lembrem-se de nos dar todas as informações relevantes no music@channelafrica.co.za. As submissões são a vossa oportunidade de ser ouvidos, mas não garantem inclusão na lista. Todas as submissões serão cuidadosamente analisadas para verificar se cumprem os requisitos da nossa estação. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
180 minutes on the world of sports and music. That's Africa at Play with Neto Chemane on Channel Africa from an African perspective.
14:51 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play. The conversation continues on all things karate in South Africa and the African continent. We are having a gentleman who's devoted his life to the sport of karate, building the nation in his area in the Eastern Katlehong. I'm talking about Chemane, also known as Master Thulani Sibisi, who has hit the rooftop of the sport. Chemane, thank you so much for being here. Let's expand the conversation, the attire that karatekas needs, since it goes from one category to another. Does this mean karate is an expensive sport? But also tell us about what attire we're talking about for one to be able to join the sport.
Yes, karate suits, they are very expensive, to be honest with you, because a near karate suit, the small size, it will go about 350 to 750. And we need this uniform to encourage the students, because sometimes a student can come and train with a tracksuit. We allow that. And in the meanwhile, while maybe you're still fundraising to get a uniform. But most of the time we encourage parents that to wait a little bit so that we can see and build the interest of the student, because nowadays, to be honest, to pop up money like 750 same time and after 2 months or 3 months and the student decides to leave the sport, it's a challenge. I mean, we know that most of the parents are not working nowadays, and to pop up that money and it will go in the waste. Maskabuya at no, I cannot go ahead with the training. So we start building the interest first. Then when we see that the student or the child is interested, then we approach the parents and say, I think it's time now for you to organize a suit for the student. It's a uniform whereby you get encouraged when you're wearing it like the other students. So it's very important for us to have those uniforms.
What challenges are you faced with under AFCO?
It's a lot of challenges. One, when we travel around the province or nationally or international, we don't have funds, we don't have a budget to go around doing these things. And the biggest challenge that we have now, whenever we do our gradings or trips, small trips, some parents, they will tell you straight that I'm interested in the sport and everything, but I cannot afford. So that's where we come in as an AFCO, where we're trying to raise funds so that we make sure that everybody who belongs to the organization get an opportunity to go to KZN for the national championship, and it's hard, to be honest. And most of the time, these people who are talented with the sport, those are the people who cannot afford the sport. You'll get people who are average, who manage to pay your fees, your monthly fees, who manage to pay the trips and everything. But you can say that they are not that much interested in this. But those people who are dedicated to the sport, those are the worst, that come from different families and disadvantaged families. So we're pleading to everybody who's listening to this, if they can assist, we'll appreciate.
If the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, Minister Gayton McKenzie, is listening to this conversation, what would you like to say to him?
We need the assistance of the country. We need the assistance of the country through sports, because we've got a lot of kids. As we know, most of the kids now end up being drug abused. They are busy in Nyaupe, and we feel that let's help those who are being under the clubs, not only for karate, but all the sporting codes or all the people who are trying to make a difference in their respective communities. Let's help those people. Let's not wait for them to addicted to Nyaupe. Then we come back and say we'll have programs for Nyaupe. Let's help those who still believe that they will make a meaningful difference in the community.
How's the calendar of karate looking like under AFCO for 2026?
We've got a lot of events that we're looking up to. Now on the 14th of March, we'll be having a kata tournament at Togoza Stadium, and on the 3rd of May, we're looking at African Championship that will be at Fostoras Civic Center. We're looking at an international event in Russia late in November. We've been invited to come and participate. There's a Youth World Championship. So all these events, they need a budget, and we don't have budget. We're raising funds almost each and every day and marketing the organization every day.
Just to put it out there for the listeners and potential sponsors to understand what we are talking about in terms of the challenges that you are faced with. Just for an international trip to Russia, how many karatekas are you taking with? How many senseis and shihans are you taking with? And how much roughly are we talking about in terms of the amount needed for this trip to become a success?
Yes, we're looking at 15,000 rand per person. That is only for the flight return. Then we're talking about accommodation. We're looking at about 8,000 rand. Our plan was to take the best of the best in AFCO, plus minus 8 participants to attend this Russian Youth Championship. So we're looking at plus minus 200,000. We will manage to cover almost everything to go there and come back.
If there's a multimillionaire or a billionaire listening to this conversation who's willing to assist, what would you like to say to them, and how do they get in touch with you?
We do have luckily enough, we comply with everything. We've got our NPO certificate, we've got our SARS in place, we've got our banking details and everything. I would like to say, if you can be a good Samaritan, please assist us. You will never regret helping us, because we're doing a meaningful contribution towards the community where we are. AFCO is a mother body. We've got branches, Eastern Cape, KZN, Northwest, almost all the 5 provinces that we exist in them. And what is good with this, we communicate almost every month with our challenges that we are facing with. But under umbrella AFCO, I will say now, we're getting there. The biggest challenge that we have is funds to travel nationally and internationally.
And to young people out there, the likes of OA2, who are not part of the sport as yet, what would you like to say to them who are listening to this conversation with a key interest to be a karateka one day?
I will say, come join us, you will never regret. Come join us, you will never regret. This is the discipline sport where you need to be. I'm not saying other sports are not disciplined, but I'm saying as we know the quality that we have and the training that we give, we have changed many people's life through karate. And I still believe that karate is one of the sports which were supposed to be taught in the schools. And most of the people, when they come to karate, they come with the mentality that I'm here to fight, I'm here to defend myself. But you come out there with a knowledge that you can implement in your daily life. That's why most of the time we say karate is life. So karate is part of your life. Everything that you do, being disciplined needs to be part of you. You don't do good things just because people are looking at you. Even in the shadows, even in the dark places, you discipline yourself, you do the right thing.
Chemane Sibisi, a renowned Kyokushin karate master, founder of the African Full Contact Karate Organization, AFCO, and the International Kyokushin Kai Karate Federation, IKKF, the South African representative, and he's based in Katlehon, the east of Johannesburg, celebrated by many in his area as a nation builder because of the awesome work that he does on the ground, and not just giving credit to him, but his entire team that works with him, that works tirelessly raising funds to make certain that an African child who is a karateka is taken good care of. And as it stands, they're looking for real money to be able to make it to Russia in November. And you can get in touch with Chemane or Master Thulani Sibisi to be able to assist if you are able to do so. 14:59 Central African Time. Chemane, thank you so much for pulling through to Africa at Play. All the best. I'm certain that after you've sat on that chair, the sport of karate and AFCO will make it to the highest possible level.
Os, thank you very much. We really appreciate the opportunity. Siyabonga kakhulu. Os.
Lovely stuff. 14:59 Central African Time, heading to the top of the hour, and that's how we say goodbye to the first hour of Africa at Play. We got to hear from Namuchana and the football pundits on our topic of the day, where we're talking about young people in Africa being encouraged to play the sport of beach soccer. And just while we are on that, note that beach soccer does not imply that you must always play the sport at the beach area. You can always play the sport even in inland areas. All you need to be able to play the sport is beach sand. Once you have the beach sand, then you are good to go. And we say goodbye to the first hour as we head into the second hour, where we will be welcoming our teenager in sport, who is a karateka, OA2 Mbiko.
Catch your latest scores and sports highlights. Stay tuned to Africa at Play with Neto Chemane on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
15:01 Central African Time. A very warm welcome to Africa at Play. If you have just joined us, we are live on DSTV Audio Bouquet Channel 802 or OpenView 628 if you are based in South Africa. Alternatively, you can connect with us from any corner of the African continent and globally online on channelafrica.co.za. Also available at your fingertips on SABC Plus. Also, you can download the Channel Africa app if you haven't done so on your iOS or Android to have a fabulous Channel Africa experience from an African perspective. My name is Neto Chemane, and thank you for tuning in. We now welcome to Africa at Play Oratile OA2 Mbiko, who was born in Natalspruit, Thokoza, Johannesburg in Gauteng. Oratile attended Brackenhurst Primary School and Ellens Park School for his future endeavors. Oratile's journey in karate began with inspiration from Stadion Kansani Baloyi, a renowned karate athlete. He joined karate in 2022 and has made a name for himself in the world of karate with strong passion for the sport. And guess what? He's here to tell us more.
What are the teenagers up to if they are not in class? Let's get in touch with the teenager in sport.
15:02 Central African Time. Let's welcome our teenager in sport, karateka Anda Shihana or Master Tulani CBC, who's doing wonders and is passionate about the sport. And I'm keen to find out what drew his attention to the sport of karate, because there's always different reasons. You speak to different karatekas, everyone has a story, and every story is very incredible. To a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon. My name is Owetumbigo. I love the sports. Someone who made me join the sports is Kenzane Baloyi. I love to say that these sports had made me win a lot of cups and medals. I like to say to Shian Tulan and to other people that who's watching us now, please come and join us, and into our sponsors, please come sponsor us. And we like to say we hope if you all come and join us, we'll be so proud. And I thank Shantulan for letting me come here. I really thank him. And
it's good to be here.
Yes, it's good to be. I'm so
Yeah,
shy.
no, relax, don't be shy. Ne? All right, so how did you meet Kenzane Baloyi?
I met him she came to my house, and I know them since.
She's like a family friend.
Yeah.
Okay. And if she's listening to this conversation, what would you like to say to her?
I like to say to her, you've made me come here, and I thank you for letting me join the sports, and God bless you. And I like to say that you made me so happy in my life, and
Interesting indeed. To talk to us about your parents, are they giving you the necessary support to be a good karateka that you are?
yes, they do.
And who are they?
My mom is Lerato, is known as Nkanyesi. So my mom loves me, and I love her back. So everything, like everything my mom has given me, I really appreciate it.
Indeed. And how did you meet Shihan Tulani Sibisi?
I met him when I started training 2002. I started at Togoza training, and when we were going to the trips or stuff like that, I met him there. I started knowing Shihan Tulan there.
Let's bring Shihan to the conversation. Shihan, what kind of a karateka is Owetumbigo?
Owetumbigo, he's a very disciplined karateka. As we are here now, he's wearing a green belt. He's starting to take responsibility of the class when Kenzane Baloyi, she's not there. She also now Owetu takes the responsibility of the class. So he is very reliable, and we know that if he's there, the knowledge that we have passed to him, it's very easy for him to pass it to other students who are coming to the dojo. We really appreciate him. Last year we went to Durban, Umlazi Sports Complex, to the tournament. He did wonders there. You know, sometimes in some of the tournaments, you don't give people a chance, and you say that this is a tough tournament. Especially when you go down in KZN, that area, people who are doing karate, they are very dedicated. And he came back there. We were very proud about his achievement. So we're looking forward to him one day to wear his black belt, and we'll be very proud to see him wearing his black belt.
You see, we are talking to the champion karateka here. Do you still remember your first competitive fight? How did it go?
It went so bad because I went under 35 kg, and it was my first time fighting, so I was so shy, and
And I'm certain it's normal over to that when you do something for the first time. I mean, I remember when I started learning how to drive, I did it myself because my father was far away from me. So every time I get into a taxi, I used to enjoy sitting in the front so that I sort of look at the taxi drivers because they drive every day. So they make this thing look so easy. So I wanted to check what does it do with the pedals. And then the day I jumped into the car myself, and now my left leg, I'm supposed to press the clutch and it's vibrating. And I'm thinking, will I even get this thing right? But look at me now, I can drive and be on the phone and do all sort of things, not that it's okay to do that, but at least I'm comfortable. So I'm certain even with you there's room for mistakes when you are starting. Let's now talk about your karate competition where you did wonders for the first time. Do you remember that day?
Yeah, I do remember.
How was it?
Oh, it was tough, but I still made it and I won a trophy. I was so happy. When I got home, my mom and dad and my family was so proud of me. Yeah, I really appreciate my mom and my dad for paying money to go and stuff like that and to win.
Shehan spoke about a tournament that's coming up in March. Will you be part of it?
Yes, I will.
Have you started preparing for it?
Yeah.
So in like for an example, this is 2026. How many competitions realistically are you able to participate in? Is it a situation where you can participate in a competition at least once a month, or it has to be once a quarter kind of vibe?
It will depend with the money. My mom's money or my dad's money.
Okay, let's bring Shehan on for this one. Shehan, how does it work? How often can a karateka participate in competitive events?
Yes, because we've got a big team, it depends on the weight. When we get invitations, we've got an invitation now on the 28th of February in Orlando, Soweto. IK also now is hosting a tournament there. They send us the invitation with all the divisions. So we go back, we check our students and we check how many can we put under 35, how many can we put under 40. Then we look at the budget for the participation fee. It will depend on the year. Like a student can fight up to 8 tournaments in a year.
In a year?
Yes.
That's realistic. That's not too much.
That's not too much.
Can you push it to maybe 10?
No, because we're doing full contact. Remember, there are also injuries. So we try to nurse such as injuries. If you come back, somebody's got a problem with the calf or a knee, we said, no, next tournament, don't bother. We'll try and put somebody else because we cater. We've got a lot of students in the pool. So we rotate them in a way so that they can get the break.
Wow, interesting indeed. And as we wrap up this conversation, over to talk to us about the future. What sort of categories of karate are you targeting? After the green belt, what's the next?
After the green belt is the second green, and I'm looking forward to get more belts, and I wish to be like a black belt. I wish to be like Shehan, Tulanis.
What grade are you on in school?
I'm in an Elsin class. I'm in an Elsin school, actually, like a special school.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Are you loving it there?
Yeah, I do.
What's your favorite subject?
It's home language, English, and even maths.
Ah, interesting. Are you good with numbers? Or you try?
Yeah, I am good.
13 plus 12?
13 plus 12.
Yeah.
Zasha.
Still calculating. I'll give you a quicker way of getting it. You know? So normally with numbers, you must analyze the number. So if someone says 13 plus 12, you take the 10, you know it's 20,
Yes.
and then 3, 2, you know it's 25.
Yeah.
Then you'll never have issues. Ne? Thank you so much for pulling through to Africa at Play. Your final word, what did you like to say to your teammates, your fellow karatekas?
I like to say thank you for listening to me now as I talk in this channel, and I thank God for letting me for what he sorry, but yeah.
Interesting indeed. Thank you so much, Owetu, for pulling through to Africa at Play. All the best moving forward.
Yes.
Yeah, let's wrap up with this Shehan, that is Tulani Sibisi. Shehan, as we wrap up, you have done awesome and tremendous work. You spoke about 13 dojos, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How do you explain a dojo to someone who's hearing it for the first time?
A dojo is a Japanese word, and it says club. So when you say I'm running a dojo, it's like you're running a club. A dojo is a Japanese word. So we've got clubs that are affiliated under AFCO, and we've got people who are doing tremendous job. Esbu King, Sensei Muzi, Orange Farm, Sembaili Rado, KZN, Sia, Eastern Cape is the Tiger. We've got a lot of people who are doing good job that are not getting an opportunity like this one we are getting. We're talking on behalf of them. Even those who are out of AFCO, who are doing other sporting codes, I know there are a lot of, we interact with a lot of coaches who are doing soccer, volleyball, cricket. There's a lot of people who are doing great job outside there, and they also need support. If we can support sport, I still believe we'll have a better community in our areas.
I fully agree with you. Thank you so much, Shihane Tulane Sibisi, for pulling through with Owe Tumbiko.
In the Japanese way, we say thank you very much. Domo arigato kazamashita.
Domo arigato kazamashita.
Os.
Oh, you see, fast learners, 15:13 Central African time. That's how we wrap up our karate conversation right here on Africa at Play. Let's take a break.
The voice of the continent, now online, with all your sports fixtures, lifestyle, and more. Conversations are happening, and Channel Africa is at the heart of them. We tell the African story with clarity, pride, and purpose, reaching audiences that matter to your brand. Partner with us and connect your business with listeners across borders in multiple languages and markets. For partnership opportunities, sponsorship, or sales, email us at partnership@channelafrica.co.za. Channel Africa, the African perspective. 60 years of Channel Africa, your trusted voice, your African perspective into the future.
Vamanyare subaromba male kawaba zeza amale wore bazeza male mitadi galadona ma wore galadona mala asanga bazenindo ikagelo masayala kake baga keneye male take fisha ewa mitanga tairi kasro tairi buakari soro tairi smaila soro tairi salama soro kakanga bazeni kala amale kake shibuni ala nale kake taibasiye anale itake manieri ewa don kanumbagaluye anale joni beni kanumbagado nale nenale nale se wa nale se nena wa malide ipemba anale se wa nenale nale se wa nale se ne wa malide dia Madime kurasu ni nomba nale kawangu ninda ana baromba anale kawa ya jurusa nale kosiri bubara bakamba nale baya basa nale bayuru sayuru nale bayuru nale jani menni kanu bagatewa anale sewa.
15:18 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play. This is a song titled Seya by Omo Singara. And thank you so much for choosing Africa's number one. Let's update you about the latest in the T20 World Cup that is currently underway in India as well as Sri Lanka. These two nations are co-hosting, and it's good to see that in modern sport, most countries they get to co-host, which gives both countries an opportunity to improve their economy, because every time there are visitors in a country, it's good for the country because those visitors will be spending some money in the country, and that's good for the development of different sporting codes. A match that took place earlier between USA and Namibia. USA won by 31 runs, and now it is a match between India and Pakistan, and they are currently on a toss, and we will get to know who gets to bat first, and it is India taking on Pakistan. It's going to be a very big clash. And there's also a match taking place tomorrow between Afghanistan and the United Arab Emirates, kicking off bright and early at 7:30 a.m. Central African Time, followed by England versus Italy at 11:30, while at 15:30 it will be Sri Lanka taking on Australia. We will be having a conversation with our correspondent from East Africa in Nairobi, Kenya, Francis FM Mutegi, after the short break.
Hi there. Do you want to elevate your business and give it a voice in South Africa and Africa as a whole? Well, in that case, let Channel Africa make this a possibility. Channel Africa is willing to advertise your business for as little as 30,000 rands or $1,719.18. To get access to these great rates, send all requests to mokoenata@SABC. That's MOKOENATA@SABC. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa at Play with Neto and Neto Chemane.
15:20 Central African Time. This is Africa at Play. We are live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome, as we also welcome our East African correspondent, Francis FM Mutegi. So Mutegi, good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon to you, and again, a very warm welcome to the rest of the African continent, to the news about sporting activities in East Africa.
Indeed. Let's get on to it. Looking at the Sevens Rugby, it is day 2 of the HSBC Sevens League that is underway in Kenya. What's the latest? Who's playing who?
Well, it has been a scintillating performance by the host, Kenya's Shujaa Sevens for men. They've been literally unbeatable. They've been unbearable. They have been unplayable for majority of their plays. They've won literally every match they've played since the kickoff of the event yesterday. It's a 2-day tournament that is, of course, the first leg of the second tier of the Sevens League. And in that context, therefore, Kenya has today played Uruguay, beating them 17-7 to add to their 3 victories in yesterday's matches, in which they managed to outdo literally every opponent, and now they wait to play a very, very tricky fixture in their closing stage for the final match of the day that will be happening in the next about 45 minutes. And this time they've got to prove themselves against a very formidable outfit in the men's category, and of course this will be probably the ultimate decider of who emerges the best team in the men's category, and Kenya has a very good chance of matching the top side of the tournament if they can overcome their final fixture that will be taking place around 5:02 p.m. That will be 4:02 Central African time, and that is in about 40 or so minutes from now. And so we wait and see what becomes of that match. And should Kenya win, then they'll have literally won all their matches in this first leg. Remember, this is the second tier to the 7th league of IRB that is traditionally known, but this year they've been placed in category 2, that is being called a 7th League 2, to take care of the teams that are in a second tier after the change of the arrangements that are being used to decide the top 12 teams of every year, and the teams that were not able to finish in the top 10 were taken into tier 2, and Kenya happens to be one of them. The other team that they will be playing later, that is at 5:02 East African time or 4:02 Central African time, will be the United States of America, and that is the match that will be probably deciding the team that will have garnered all the necessary points, because Kenya has since beaten all the other sides, and they wait to play USA in the final match of the second day, which will be closing at 5:02, and that match will be critical because it is the match that will probably give them the points that they need to emerge top of that tier as they wait to go for the second leg. Remember, this, just like the first tier of 7, is also being played in a league format, and that is to say Kenya is hosting the first leg, and then later there will be other legs that will be played, and of course the top side will be considered for now promotion back to the the first tier, which of course includes the likes of Springboks of South Africa, who are currently probably the only African side now playing in that first category. And the women's side also have been playing since yesterday. Of course, the South African side has been probably the most impressive of the women's outfits. The Kenyan side has been, let me say, the mixed bag of results. They've won and not performed very well in other matches, and so we wait and see how they will be classified. But remember, this is just a matter of points. Once the fixtures are over, it is about where you're placed by your points garnered from that leg as you wait for the next leg, and this is what cumulatively will decide the teams that will be promoted back into Tier 1 Neto. But it has been extremely impressive. The turnout of crowds at the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi has been huge and impressive, and it has been a very noisy atmosphere that has been ecstatic in every sense. And I want to believe the organizers of the IRB 7th Tier 2 will be very impressed by the Kenyan hosting rights, and because everything, including the technical aspects, have been top-notch, and there is no reason as to why Kenya cannot host this event, even Tier 1, at some point later, as South Africa does, as the only side that doing those kind of things in Africa at the moment, Neto.
That's the voice of Francis Feboteki, our East African correspondent based in the beautiful city of Nairobi in Kenya. So, Motegi, it is interesting times for the Under-20 FIFA Women's Under-20 World Cup African qualifiers, with the third round results out there after great spectacles this weekend. Botswana and Cameroon. Botswana beating Cameroon by a goal to nil, but going down 1-5 on aggregate. And there was also a match between South Africa and Ghana, and Ghana triumphed by a goal to nil and 3-2 on aggregate, while Zambia went down by a goal to nil against Uganda, and Uganda winning 2-1 on aggregate. Democratic Republic of Congo beating Cote d'Ivoire by a goal to nil, but Cote d'Ivoire winning 2-1 on aggregate, while Benin defeated Egypt by 4 goals to nil, and Senegal played against Nigeria and they lost 2-1 and lost 3-1 on aggregate. Malawi and Guinea-Bissau. Malawi beating Guinea-Bissau by 5 goals to 1 and winning 6-2 on aggregate. Another interesting clash was the East African derby between Tanzania and Kenya, 0-0 and 1-1, with Tanzania winning 3-1 on penalties. Your reaction?
Well, I will say that it was a very unlucky ending for Kenya because they managed to win the first leg in Nairobi 1-0, and when they went to Tanzania, of course, failing to get that killer goal in that particular match made it possible for Tanzania to try and equate what Kenya had achieved in the first leg, and that is exactly what happened, and this forced the match into penalty shootouts, and that is exactly the victory that you've just announced of the Tanzanian junior starlets, the Taifa starlets, being able to win on goal. On a penalty shootout to 3-1, beating Kenya, and for that reason, Kenya will be nursing their losses as the fellow East Africans, Tanzania women under 20 team, now go on to play the team you've mentioned there, Cameroon, who managed to outdo Botswana. And so when Cameroon and Tanzania meet in that next round, now it will be the team that wins in that category or in that level that will now fall straight into the World Cup pooling, and for that matter, the team will be given a chance now to go straight into the pot that will decide in which category of the World Cup they'll play in terms of groupings. But I think stand now Kenya has lost that opportunity. Of course, Kenya played at the World Under-17 football championship for women, but the under-20 has not been lucky, and so Tanzania now is our hope for this end, alongside Uganda as they play in their final stage. And as you mentioned there, Cameroon having overcome Botswana, now they've got to play a very formidable outfit in the name of Tanzania. If they can manage to produce the results, then of course they will go into the World Cup. If they don't, then the East Africans will get a chance to play at the World Cup for the first time, the Tanzania under-20 team. And so is the case for Uganda as they wait to play their next and final stage. This penultimate stage has been very painful for Kenya because they were very, very promising in terms of their ability to qualify, especially having played at the under-17, but things were not working for them in Tanzania, losing on penalties, and so they've got to let Tanzania go and fight for that slot against Cameroon in the final stage. For now, it is up to the Kenyan side now to go back to the drawing board and put things together for another occasion, probably another chance, another opportunity to play at an international level again for the juniors in the women's football category in Neto.
The Confederation of African Football, CAF President Dr. Patrice Motsepe insists that there is no intention of altering the Pamoja host despite the speculation of a postponement of the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. Your reaction?
Well, I think he has been consistent and consistently held on to that belief and confidence that the East African countries will give us some sumptuous, impressive AFCON in 2027, and there is no reason as to why anyone should be thinking anything short of the fact that the tournament will proceed and the three countries will do a good job, and there is no reason as to why any of the three countries cannot be ready for that tournament next year. And in that scenario, there has been coming up because of the intention to switch to a quadrennial event after 4 years instead of biennial that we've been doing. The intention was to have the tournament take place again a year later, that is in 2028. And this was South Africa, Botswana, and Namibia had been touted as possible applicants for that tournament the year later, so that the tournament switches to an even number starting with 2028, and then of course wait for 2032 as the next edition, after now leaving the biennial format to the quadrennial format. And so that is what has really brought the speculation, because the intention was to try and convince a CAF to not hold another tournament a year later, instead delay the 2027 event to 2028, so that it will start now at the first event or the first tournament of the quadrennial format but he has said there is no such plan. They've not come to such an agreement. These are speculations that they are not buying, and for that reason, they retain their belief and confidence in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania hosting the event next year successfully. And the three countries are very much on course in terms of readiness. Of course, Tanzania and Uganda are the teams that, of course, will be also considered in terms of hosting maybe the opening match. He mentioned Tanzania as a possible host of the opening match, but then immediately his technical team was quick to bring a rejoinder and say they're yet to settle on the opening country that will play the first match. And so they said they've got to wait and have the proper categorization of matches in terms of who will host the opening match, who will host the closing match, and of course probably the semi-finals and the quarterfinals will be. The quarterfinals will be played in the three countries, but the semi-finals, just like happened with the CHAN earlier in the year, are of course likely to be played in two of the other countries, so that that country will host the final. And the probabilities at the moment are that the new stadium that is being put up in Kenya with a capacity of 60,000 fans, the Talanta City Stadium, also to be known as Raila Odinga Stadium, is the most likely final stadium for the tournament. But the opener remains in the betting for the CAF leadership. So we wait and see what the technical team of the Confederation of African Football will decide as to who will host the opening ceremony and then who will, of course, host the closing ceremony. But I think Kenya's the main stadium being put up is expected to be ready in the next about a month or so, by the end of March, presumably. And then, of course, Uganda have already completed the construction of their second stadium, Hoima Stadium in western Uganda, to add to what they already got with their Nelson Mandela Stadium in Nambole. And this makes it two international stadiums that can be ready for the event, while the other is being put up probably, and of course the training ground. Tanzania too has got a major stadium in Benjamin Mkapa in Dar es Salaam. They've got, of course, another one coming up in Arusha, presumably to be called Samia Suluhu, the president of Tanzania's name. And then the stadium in the archipelago of Zanzibar, which is an island of Tanzania, will also be ready for another hosting. Remember, they hosted the CHAN Group B, so this is to say Zanzibar too will be considered part of Tanzania, and for that reason will host probably some of the groups, and they're also putting up another stadium there. And in Kenya, besides the Talanta Stadium, there is also the renovation of the Nyayo Stadium currently being used for the IRB Sevens to league to be given some canopy look, as is the case for Kasarani that will be prepared again for CHAN, and then of course several stadiums for training and team exercises around the city and other areas of the country. So I don't think there will be a reason for any of the three countries not to be ready for the tournament next year. Clearly, Motsepe has the reason to believe that the three countries can get ready in time to put things together, because literally there is no reason as to why there will be a reason to be worried at all about the readiness of the three countries. Because any other infrastructure, in terms of hotels, in terms of transport systems, and of course communication systems, security measures seem to be very much in place and in good shape. So it's a matter of time before we put the stadiums ready as well. And probably by the end of this year, things will be ready for all the three countries, for things to be well ready for the 2027 tournament in Neto.
Francis Femotegi is our correspondent based in East Africa in Nairobi, Kenya. Femotegi, football fans on the African continent will be blessed by Galo Football 2027 Pamoja AFCON, followed by 2028 AFCON, as we are switching from biennial to quadrennial. But also what is interesting from the executive committee meeting of CAF that happened recently, where Dr. Motsepe confirmed that East Africa is ready and there will there will not be any postponement. But it was also discussed that there's a possibility of 4 more African nations to be allowed to be part of the quadrennial AFCON, where 28 nations will battle it out for the ultimate glory versus the 24. It's opening up 4 more spots for the African continent in a continent that comprises 54 African countries. Why not?
There's no doubt about it. I think it is a great opportunity. I think, to be honest, I think Motsepe has a plan that is doing very well for the entire continent, because even the co-hosting rights that are being given to countries, for example, the Pamoja host, that is the Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania nations, it is a great opportunity for them to establish appropriate international structure, stadiums and facilities to be ready for international tournaments. And that is being made possible because having hosted CHAN very successfully, probably the hosted rating CHAN that has been since the tournament started, then gives you, I believe, that the staff from 2027 too is going to be excellent, and there is going to be a great mileage for the 3 southern countries in terms of preparedness for international ability, hosting rights. And if it happens, this will succeed for South Africa, Botswana, Namibia to host the 2028 edition. It will be another great opportunity again for the 3 countries also to put together their structures and, of course, prepare the stadiums and probably meet international stadium setters that can allow them to rebuild their stadiums and prepare the other infrastructure appropriately and be able to host such an international stadium and an international tournament. And if you look at what Morocco has done, they were also given a big mileage in terms of their readiness for the 2020 World Cup that they will be hosting with Portugal and Spain. And that tells you that clearly it is a good strategy of helping African countries prepare for such international call-ups as a host. And so Morocco can be argued to be probably prepared than Portugal and Spain are prepared. And that is exactly what was very clear in the way they hosted AFCON 2026 and rather 2025. And in this case, therefore, there is no doubt these 3 certain countries too will be up to the task of pulling up their socks to catch up with the levels that Morocco produced, and this will be a good lesson for the rest of the continent. And so I think the CAF Executive Committee has a good strategy of inspiring literally every side. Doesn't matter the abilities financially in terms of countries, but it is a great style of helping every region grow and mobilize its resources and put up proper structures for their own use as well as for the continental use. And it's a good thing, to be honest. I want to be so much.
Francis F. Motegi, our correspondent based in Nairobi, Kenya, in East Africa. Motegi, thank you so much for your contribution to Africa at Play. A very good afternoon further and all the best in the new week.
Good afternoon to you too, and once again, thank you for the opportunity. A great week ahead for you and the listeners across the African continent on Africa Play. Thank you.
15:40 Central African Time. That's how we wrap up our conversation with Francis F. Motegi, based in Nairobi, Kenya, our correspondent in East Africa. It's time for a short break. When we come back, we will be bringing you the latest sports news.
Africa, meet Abedi.
Yeah, that's me.
Abedi is a music lover through and through.
I really love African music.
He's got a taste for all kinds of tunes and spends his days listening to Channel Africa. Guess what? He didn't know.
Okay.
Channel Africa wants to help Abedi and all music lovers everywhere to discover even more incredible music. That is why Channel Africa is calling on all African musicians to submit their music. Musicians, remember to give us all your relevant information. Make your submissions at music@channelafrica.co.za. Submissions are your chance to be heard on radio. But sadly, they do not guarantee that you'll be playlisted. All submissions will be carefully reviewed to see if they meet our station's requirement. Channel Africa, the African perspective. 180 minutes on the world of sports and music. That's Africa at Play with Neto, Neto Chemane on Channel Africa from an African perspective.
15:42 Central African Time. A very warm welcome to Africa at Play. If you have just joined us, it's time for sports news, starting with tennis. The Dallas Open final will feature the world's two highest-ranked Americans after Taylor Fritz and Ben Skelton booked their places with contrasting wins. Top seed Fritz fired 22 aces in a straight sets victory over Marin Cilic, winning 7-6, 7-6 without facing a single breakout point. Second, and Shelton railed from a set down to beat defending champion Denis Shapovalov in a thrilling 4-6, 6-4, 7-6 contest, saving 3 breakpoints with a dazzling cross-court forehead. Fritz ranked 7th in the world as a 10-time ATP Tour champion, while Shelton ranked 9th, has 3 titles to his name. The pair have split their previous 2 meetings, setting up a blockbuster All-American showdown in Dallas. In the meantime, top seed Francisco Cerundolo is through to the Argentina Open final after defeating compatriot Thomas Alcieri in straight sets 6-3, 7-5 yesterday. The 27-year-old, ranked 19th in the world, is chasing his 4th ATP Tour title and will face either Sebastian Baez or Feliciano Darenda in Sunday's championship match. Cerundo's victory is set up an all-Argentinian showdown for the Buenos Aires crowd. On to football news. The Black Princesses focused ahead of the Under-20 World Cup qualifier against Basitsana. Ghana Under-20 women's national team coach Charles Sampson says they know how to handle pressure as they prepare to face Basitsana in the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Mbombela. The Black Princesses played to a 2-2 draw in Accra yesterday against Basitsana in the first leg, and Sampson says their main focus is to play on the world stage so that he understands the demand that comes with it.
It's part of it. We're playing to qualify for the World Cup. Unfortunately, we slipped a little bit the last game. We are ready. The girls are ready to redeem themselves and for us to win tomorrow and qualify to the next stage.
Ghana Under-20 will be taking on the national team of South Africa, Basitsana Under-20. And the former Ghanaian international was appointed head coach of the Black Princesses in December 2024, having also served as an assistant for the Black Queens. He says it's crucial for them to convert their chances this afternoon.
After tomorrow's game, I hope that we have the ticket to play the next qualifiers. That's our goal. So for now, I don't have any other goal than that. So all the focus is on that.
Power Dynamos has finished third in Group A with 7 points after having played 6 matches, winning 2, drawing 1 and losing 3. Speaking to journalists in a post-match interview, Power Dynamos head coach Oswald Mutapa praised his players for their good performance and expressed optimism that the team will return next season bigger and better. And Football of Zambia Association representative and head of delegation Brian Nswanga Sakulenga says Power Dynamos has made the nation proud, commenting the discipline shown throughout the team's outing in Cairo. Sakalenga's advice to the team is to go back to the drawing board and address a few areas that could help them to do better in future CAF Champions League matches. Let's find out from the head of delegation, Brian Nswanga Sakulenga.
We are proud of Power Dynamos with their performance, which has been very encouraging and excellent. Personally, as HOD, I think I'm very happy with the levels of discipline in the players and also the unity amongst management. The performance for Power Dynamos has been excellent, and the staff actually has been equal to the task despite losing to Pyramids. It is that it wasn't our day today, but I know the team is not very bad. The team is doing extremely well. There are just a things or a few areas which the Power Diamonds need to work on or iron out, so that next time we'll be able to do it better, be able to defeat the other teams like Pyramids and other strong teams that are going to participate in the Continental Games. So far, looking at the high levels of discipline in the players and also the unity amongst management, I'm very sure that the team is going to go far in the next or in the coming competitions, because unity is power. Actually, when people are united, it means even the performance will always be positive, will always be encouraging, and we'll be able to achieve that which we want to achieve.
MCLJ coach Rulani Mokoena admits his side had compromised their CAF Champions League hopes long before yesterday's 2-0 defeat to Mamelodi Sundowns. Reflecting on the loss to his former club, he considered the team failed to capitalize on key chances earlier in the group stage, leaving them with too much to do in their final fixture. Mokoena says arriving at Loftus Versfeld Stadium needing at least a point against a determined Sundowns was always going to be a tall order.
We didn't get knocked out today. If you review our participation in the Champions League, we maybe let it go when we were away in Rwanda and conceding first and making it 1-1, and then in the last 10, 15 minutes, 12 minutes of the game to lose it 2-1 away from home. When you have the point in the Champions League, away from home is very, very important. And then at home, I think we had a lot of chances against Sundowns, a lot of chances. And it's important in the Champions League, once again, to win your home matches. And then we take a point when we could have taken 3, and that would have made a big difference. And Lupopo in Congo, we 0-0 with the last few minutes, and we concede a penalty that we could have done a little bit better. And even though sometimes when I review the game, I don't know how much of a penalty that would have been or should have been. But you review the situation, you review how we've done in the Champions League this season, and I don't think, and we spoke about this, I don't think this was the game that we got us knocked out of the group stages.
Mokoena considered that Sundowns were the better side overall.
In most moments, we suffered a lot more than we had planned, and the first goal was always going to be very, very important. In the first 15 minutes, when we discussed the timeline of the game, we knew that the first 15 minutes was very, very important for us to survive and try to not even keep it 0-0, but try to see if we can't get the first goal. That didn't happen, and then after that you are chasing and you have to open up a little bit. You are caught on transition, and Sundowns is got the quality to be able to keep the ball and control the game. And after that, when they put the ball in the pocket, is very difficult to come back. But okay, I want to say I'm very proud of the players, because I don't think at any moment I felt the sign or the feeling that they had given up, and that makes me very, very proud, even though the game was very, very difficult.
The tension between Mokoena and his Sundowns counterpart Miguel Cardoso continued to spill over into the game after the latter appeared to provoke the MC Alger bench during the tie.
I don't want to talk about the things off the pitch, because if Rulani walks across to the opposition technical area, and you also, it is live on TV, if Rulani walks to the opposition technical area, believe me, I know how many people would have made a huge hullabaloo about that situation. The laws of the game prohibit any technical member to leave his technical area and move across, go past the fourth official and move across to the technical team of the other team. If that is not a clear sign of not only disrespect for the opposition and the opposition technical staff, it's a clear violation of not even CAF rules but FIFA rules. It's clear, and therefore this has nothing to do with me. No, that's not my conduct. It's not a reflection on me. That's not that question you should be asking to the person who left his technical area to go to the other technical area, and you have to find out the reasons why that person did that and provoked, because it's a clear provocation, no? So, what is the aim of that? And I don't think you saw me moving towards that and being involved in the handbags. No, today you cannot say Rulani was misbehaving. It's impossible. It's impossible.
Mokoena was being asked whether being eliminated from the Champions League would affect his job security at Moludia.
I don't know. That's up to the club. I'm focused on what's left of the remaining of the season. That's a question that's not within my control, no.
Elsewhere, Real Madrid moved provisionally top of the La Liga with a convincing 4-1 win over Real Sociedad at the Bernabeu. Vinicius Jr. and won the converted 2 penalties, while Gonzalo Garcia and Fede Valverde were also on target for Alvaro Albero's side. It was a strong return for Trent Alexander-Arnold, making his first start in over 2 months after injury as he cross-set up Garcia's opener. The victory inflicted a first defeat on Sociedad's American coach Pellegrino Matarazzo and puts Madrid 2 points clear of champions Barcelona, who visit Girona on Monday. In cricket news, South Africa took a big step towards the T20 World Cup Super 8s with a commanding 7-wicket win over New Zealand in Ahmedabad. The captain, Aidan Markram, hailed the display as near perfect, praising the conviction and composure shown against the previously unbeaten Black Caps. The victory cements the Proteas status as one of the tournament favourites, with Markram confident the team is improving with every game.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a lot closer to the fullest of potential tonight. I thought pretty much all areas we were really good. And again, I think it just came from clarity and conviction in that plan or that ball you're going to bowl or the approach you're going to take towards a certain bowler with the bat. So it's nice to see the boys slowly but surely improving, getting better and better. And yeah, tonight was all around a really good performance.
South Africa had earlier won the toss and elected to bowl first and restricted their opponents to below par 175 with a player of the match, Marco Jansen, chief destroyer with 4 for 40. Markram says it is a special effort from the bowlers on a batter's wicket.
Yeah, the pitch got better. Like I said in the post-match there, you first have to acknowledge that. I think we got on the right side of the toss and that helped us, but ultimately to restrict him to under 180, I thought was a really massive effort. So it's probably over a 200 type of pitch. The pitch played really well and obviously got better and better the later the night went. But the bowlers to restrict him under 180 was special.
Markram led the way with 86 of 44 balls, saying the Proteas capitalized on the power play early. South Africa now needs a win against the United Arab Emirates, UAE, on Wednesday to secure a Super 8 spot. Through they will advance soon if Afghanistan beats the UAE on Monday or if Canada upsets New Zealand on Tuesday.
I think tonight's game is... I think if you win, you go through sort of vibes, so it wasn't too much of a net run rate thought. I just think you, as a batting unit, you want to take the power play on. That's what all teams are doing now, and we'd be silly not to try do the same. And if it comes off, fortunately, it looks pretty good, but there'll be days where it doesn't, and then you rely a bit more on your middle order. But wickets have been really good for us, and because of that, I think you can get off to some good starts.
In golf news, an emotional comeback story in golf. Anthony Kim has captured his first LIV Golf title and his first win on any tour since 2010, outplaying two-time major winner John Rahm in Adelaide. The 40-year-old American fired a stunning 9 under 63, surging home with 5 birdies on the back 9 to finish at 23 under, 3 clear of Rahm. Bryson DeChambeau faltered with 4 bogeys on front of 9, eventually trying third alongside Tyrrell Hatton and Peter Uheim. Kim, a former Ryder Cup star and 3-time PGA Tour winner, retired in 2012 after battling addiction and personal struggles. His victory caps an extraordinary redemption, having returned to golf in 2024 and his way back onto the LIV Tour this season. 15:57 Central African Time. Shasha featuring Calvin Momo and Sykes saying Ndawana as we say goodbye to the second hour of Africa at Play. Astelile Shashaya.
Catch your latest scores and sports highlights. Stay tuned to Africa at Play with Neto Chemane on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
16:01 Central African Time. A very warm welcome to Africa at Play. If you have just joined us, this is the third and final hour of the show. You can get in touch with us on our different social media platforms at Channel Africa 1 on Insta, X, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. If you haven't downloaded the Channel Africa app, this is the awesome moment to do so on your iOS and Android to have an incredible Channel Africa experience from an African perspective. We now welcome to the show Simamkele Ducheni, the current IBO all-rounder African champion. Ducheni did not have December holidays, not because she didn't want to, but simply because of the demanding nature of the profession she has chosen. While many were in full festive mode, Ducheni remained in her natural element, grinding it out at the gym, and rightfully so. In just 2 months, she faces what is arguably the best challenge of her boxing career, a fight that could define her standing on the international stage and shape not only her future in boxing, but her life beyond the ring as well. The Langa-based pugilist spent her festive season preparing for a challenge for the IBO world title against Poland's undefeated Lauro Grzyb. Ducheni admits there was a little time for celebration during the holidays, as most of her days were spent inside the gym, focused on the task ahead coming up this March. Let's welcome the champion to the conversation, Simamkele Ducheni. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, Neto.
Thank you so much indeed. We are talking for the first time in 2026. Happy 2026. Wishing you nothing but a prosperous year, blessed with a good health and a good wealth.
Thank you very much.
Let's take it back to the early days. Simamkele joining boxing. How did it come about?
Okay, at first I joined boxing when I remember coming from Iran. It was 2020, you remember, it was COVID that time. So I was coming from Iran. I was a rugby player before. So I was just running, doing my runs, and then I saw a group of boxers. They were training in a train station, in an open space, in a train station, sorry. And then first day I joined them, and then after that I continued with my run. Second day, I joined again. Third day I joined, and then I think I just wanted to continue doing boxing. And then after COVID, and then when the gyms were open, I started joining boxing. And then by 2022, I turned professional. My first fight was in Kimberley, which was a win, of course.
Very interesting journey indeed. And here you are now as the IBO All-Africa champion. Let's talk about your rugby days. What do you miss so much about the sport of rugby?
I just miss that thrilling, the adrenaline in the field, the runs. I was a winger there, tackling, all that adrenaline rush. But it's still the same because even in boxing, you still have adrenaline, you still fight.
And you are a gym fanatic too, because when you got to meet the sport of boxing, you were enjoying a good run. Let's talk about that run. How often do you run?
I usually run every day, but since I don't have weight anymore, because I was big doing rugby, I used to run every day, but now I'm not big anymore. My division is junior feather. I have to be 55, but I can't be 55 while I'm not boxing, unfortunately. So I have to make sure I keep my weight at least 4 kgs up. So I don't run every day. Maybe I run 3 times a week. Yeah.
And having turned professional in 2022, 4 years later, here you are doing wonders in the boxing ring. What do you make up of your journey to date? What are some of the highlights that makes you feel proud of being Simamkele Ducheni?
Okay. What makes me exciting? First of all, I'm dedicated. I love sport. I've been started doing sport even when I was young. I was a runner. I never told anyone about this one, bodybuilding, and then I tend to rugby. So I'm all about sport. I'm all about sport. If you see Simamkele, you see a sports person, even my physique.
Do you still have moments for bodybuilding?
No, thank you.
Fully focused on boxing now. There is a big fight coming up with Poland's undefeated Laura. What are you looking forward to? Do you know your opponent? How are you planning to defeat her?
Okay, I do know my opponent. I watched her fights on YouTube. Unfortunately, she can only watch one fight of mine, which is on YouTube. the previous fight that I had for IPO. She can only watch that one. I watched her. She's a good boxer. She's skilled. I see that she has experience also, but we're going to beat that.
And you are certain about putting up a good fight because you'd never got to enjoy the festive season. Talk to us about your preparations ahead of this big fight. Who are you sparring with?
Okay, so I'm currently training at BST Last Certain Tears. It is in Cape Town right now. So my coaches have been training me. Even after my fight for IPO All Africa, I haven't stopped training. I've been going to the gym, doing my runs, doing everything. But now we're more focused on how we're going to beat the opponent. We're more focused on our game plan.
And let's also talk about your trainer. Who are we talking about? What do you love so much about working with them?
Okay, my trainers, it's Felix Bengenai and Tapiwa Tembo, and also other ones, assistant trainers, yeah. What I like about them is that they push you. First of all, when I was still in other gyms, I used to attack, yes, but they changed how I see boxing right now. Because the way I used to fight, man, it was different than this one. Because if you did watch my last fight, I was constantly attacking, which is what I'm good at because I have power right now. So they are sharpening my sharp points, which is power. They're making sure that I use my power in the ring.
16:08 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, we are talking about the sport of boxing with our woman in sport guest. I'm talking about the IBO All Africa champion, that is Simamkele Ducheni, who is preparing for a big fight, and she is from Langa in the Western Cape. Simamkele, please do stay on the line and we take a short break. We will continue with our conversation shortly.
Across Africa, communities rise with the promise of clean water and clean sanitation. The African Union's 2026 theme calls us to action.
It's about mobilizing real commitments, securing climate-resilient water and sanitation projects, and ensuring that water becomes a driver of sustainable development and prosperity across the continent.
A landmark moment, not only for Africa, but for the global movement for access to safe water for all.
Assuring sustainable water availability for every home, every village, every nation. This is the Africa we want.
Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Africa at Play with Neto Chemane on Channel Africa. We are broadcasting to the world about Africa.
16:10 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play. The conversation continues with the IBO All Africa champion, Simamkele Ducheni, who is getting up for the big fight with a Poland's undefeated Laura Grzyb, and that match is coming up in March. And Simamkele is confident that having been preparing, including the festive season that she never got to enjoy, with the focus on this big fight. And we say big ups for that sacrifice, making certain that you focus on the matter on the table, which is the big fight coming up. Simamkele, thank you so much for staying on the line. Based on the African continent and your journey to date, any more fighters in Africa that you're still looking forward to facing in the near future?
Okay, I still look forward to facing Monica Mkandla. She once called my name, I remember. She wanted to fight me. I was supposed to fight her, but then this fight came up. There's also Nomusa. She's from here. She's from South Africa. She's holding my title, SA title. Currently, it's hers for now, but she's still holding my title. I still have to go there. I still have to face Monica. Who else? And I still want to climb the ranks, man. I want to be top 5 in the world. And I'm going to do that.
And I believe you're going to do that. How are you going to do that? Talking about climbing the ranks.
Talking about climbing the ranks, remember there's something called hard work. And I'm doing that right now. And first of all, I have to win this fight. After that, I go to all those opponents where I'm supposed to fight. I'm going to climb the ranks, and I still have to fight Yamelet Mikado. She's number 1 right now in our division. But that is it for now. It is that for when I'm experienced enough to fight him.
And Simamkele, at just 24 years, you are carrying an impressive professional record of 8-0 with 3 stoppages, and you will be looking to add yet another belt to your growing collection, and this time a world title. Your opponent is equally formidable, boasting a record of 11-0, also with 3 stoppages, making this a true test for both fighters. And I want to ask you now about when you meet a boxer like this one, who also carries an impressive record just like you, do you experience any nerves heading into the ring, or it's something that you are able to deal with before you jump into the boxing ring?
And nerves are normal. Experiencing nerves, it's normal. But what's important is putting in the work to make sure that you beat that person, because no one is going to stand in my way. I'm going to go and take that belt and then come back here in South Africa.
Have you ever been intimidated in the boxing ring?
Oh, I remember I once fought a Malawian girl. Before fighting her, people were telling me, no, I mustn't take that fight. I'm not experienced enough for that boxer. She's good. She might stop me. And even another fighter from Tanzania, it was Anamkuza, and who's this girl now? From Malawi? I forgot him. Okay, fine. But they told me that I'm not supposed to fight those people. I don't have experience in amateur. Remember, I only have 5 fights. I never went to nationals. After those 5 fights, I immediately went to 10 professionally, and then that is a problem because who won't see me because of that. But I'm going to show them when you get in the ring.
As a professional boxer, any financial challenges that you are faced with when you have to go international to countries like Poland? It doesn't come cheap. Are you sorted, or you still have challenges around that area?
We do have challenges. I wish we can get sponsors to help us with that. Me and my team, BST team, we do have challenges, but since I'm working, it's fine. But we do need some financial support for nutrition, which is diet, and then kids, supplements. Yeah, that is a challenge for us right now.
And talking about working, when you're not in the boxing ring, when you're not in the gym training or on the streets enjoying a run or remembering of your rugby days and your bodybuilding days, what do you do except for sport?
Yeah, I'm currently a firefighter and working on fire right now. So at least at work, we're allowed to train if there's no fire. If there's fire, fight fires. But that's training also because we climb mountains and stuff. So that isn't a challenge for me.
And I'm just interested in you as a firefighter because you are already fit. And it also says that as a firefighter, you then have to be fit because there's a lot that could happen in a scene that requires you to run up and down in trying to save the situation. How fit should one be as a firefighter?
First of all, you have to be able to run 2.4 kilometers. For ladies, it's 14 minutes. For guys, it's 11 minutes, but I usually run 11 minutes. Okay.
So you've already matched the record of the guys?
Yes, and you must be able to do pull-ups, sit-ups, and push-ups. So we do that every Friday, which is fitness test.
16:16 Central African Time. We are wrapping up a conversation with Simamkele Duchene, who is the current IBO All Africa champion. Simamkele, thank you so much for talking to us on Africa at Play. Before I say goodbye, your goodbye comment?
Oh, I would like to thank you guys for hosting me in this interview. And I would like to thank my coaches, my managers, and even my promotion Golden Glass for giving me this opportunity. Yeah, I'm going to grab it with both hands, and I'm going to make you proud. Thank you.
Thank you so much for not just making South Africa, but the African continent proud. All the best moving forward, and let's hope that the corporate world will come on board to support the great cause that you are in as the current IBO All Africa champion.
Okay, thank you very much.
16:17 Central African time. That brings us to the wrap-up of our boxing conversation, Woman in Sport, with the current IBO All Africa champion, Simamkele Tucheni, who is preparing for a big fight that is coming up in March, where she will be faced with the undefeated Poland's Laura Grzib. This is Africa at Play. We take a short break. When we come back, we will have a conversation with our correspondent from West Africa, Tony Robani.
Africa at Play with Neto and Neto Chemane.
This song tara mama nangande song is a dog. Den dong tara makaya kate song is a dog. Me mog me jono va kang kang when a song is a dog. Maybe saw do if a jat when a song is a dog. Gumbo and gaba karga boat na a jung my yebu. Do makawu ba young and kula ba kurma wua. Yeba yala ba bana ye bonda ba bum gampag. Yebi kobi pinga ye ma jung ba bum gampaga. Kurgan ya wua. Gumbo ga wua. Jamgan Boga, Jamgani Sani, this song Tarama Manangale song is a dog. Then Dong Tarama Kayakate song is a dog. Me Moga me Jonah Kong Kong when a song is a dog. Baby saw do if a jack when a song is a dog. Gumbo and Gabakar de Bona, they jung my yebu. Gamaka woba young and Kula Kurma. Yeba yala babana ye bonda ba bom gampa. Yebi kobi pinga ye ma janga ba bom gampaga. Kurgan ya wua, gambo ga wua. Jamgani sani, jamgan la boga. Mi war mi jona. Kurgan ya wua, gambo ga wua. Jamgani sani. Yege 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 yege. Kurgan ya wua, gambo ga wua. Jamgan la boga, mi war mi jona. Yege 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 yege. This song tarama manangane song is a dog. Then dong tarama kaya karte song is a dog. Mi moga mi jona ba kong kong when a song is a dog. Baby saw do if a jat when a song is a dog. Gumbo and gaba karte bona they jung my yebu. Gamaka wu ba young and kula ba kurma wua. Yeba yala ba bana ye bonda ba bom gampa. Yebi kobi pinga ye ma janga ba bom gampaga. Kurgan ya wua, gumbo ga wua. Jamgan la boga, mi war mi jona. Kurgan ya wua, gumbo ga wua. Jamgan la boga, jamgani sani. Yege yege mama junta mama. Yege 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 yege. Aburu yesa yesa mama junta na kwale. Yege 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 yege. Man makela junta mi amatanga ngali kama jongi.
16:20 Central African time. It is an awesome song by Salinyolo saying Sangiseto. I just love the beat of the song as it keeps going. Tam tam, that's music for you. It heals people in different ways. And even if you don't understand the language, as long as you understand the therapy that comes with music. Let's now welcome to Africa at Play, our correspondent based in West Africa, in Lagos, Nigeria, Tony Robani. So, Bani, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, the Velvet Voice of Africa. It's my pleasure to join you.
Thank you so much indeed. Let's get on to it. Talking women's football on the African continent, the Falconets of Nigeria stopping neighbors, the Senegalese, again from an under-20 female World Cup. It is always tension when it is a derby in West Africa.
Absolutely, Neto, and indeed the tension was palpable, even before the game started, because if you remember, the Senegalese came and Nigeria managed a slim 1-0 victory. And of course, that also gave so much tension to so many people, but Moses Aduku, the coach of the Falconers, was so sure of himself and her girls, when she promised that she was going to ring changes. And indeed, we saw that the two-time World Cup silver medalist Nigeria, made a lot of changes. And of course, not just getting a win, hitting them 2-1 at their backside, and of course, stopping them again, from appearing at the World Cup in Poland. And Neto must say that goals by kindness, Ifeanyi it was that also scored the only goal in Nigeria when the Senegalese came calling. Ifeanyi was at it again, in Senegal, scoring, and then Precious Oscar in Nigeria, a 3-1 aggregate win. And it was a very sweet game for Nigeria, because not so many people expected that the team will survive the tension and, of course, everything in Senegal. So many people also felt that Senegal won the African Cup of Nations, that this is indeed another thing that is going to make them so happy if they can beat Nigeria and push Nigeria. But it was not to be, because the Nigerian girls were very rock solid and brought so much joy to Nigeria. And the Senegalese put a goal back with a quarter of an hour left, but it was not just a consolation, and that will not see them through. Malawi edge out Guinea-Bissau in their future, and we now face the Falconers in the final round of the series, with Africa to present 4 teams at the final tournament scheduled for Poland in September. Neto.
So, Bunny, the joy celebrated by the Falconers of Nigeria. Unfortunately, there's no celebration for Rivers United after going down at the hands of RS Berkane, a side that has knocked them thrice to book a place in the CAF Champions League knockout stage.
Yeah, Neto, if you remember the last time we spoke about it, speaking about the CAF Champions League, I told you that the rivers in Rivers United, it's dry. It's no longer moving. And that's so much concern, brought so much concern to so many football aficionados here in Nigeria. And I also remember that we spoke at length when we just tried to find the reasons behind this. As it is, we just have to race back to 2003, 2004, when Nigeria made an impression through Enyimba International of Aba, winning the CAF Champions League back-to-back. And since then, both the Rivers and every other team that comes up to win the Nigeria Premier Football League, what they do is just get to win the MPFL, and then that's just it. There are no recruitments. There is no plan for them at the continent beefing up their squad. And indeed, the owner of the most prominent club in Nigeria, Remo Stars, that has the only good facilities in Nigeria, did not hide it. When he said, that he is not playing to win anything either in Africa or even in Nigeria, that he's so much interested in his business. And of course, he has a business empire. He has an airline in Nigeria that is flourishing, and of course, so many other things that are happening. That means he's only interested in getting players and of course, selling players. That's his business. And that's to tell you that football in Nigeria has gone down. If you look in 2003, 2004, that's the time Nigeria was so impressive to win the African Cup of, to win the CAF Champions League. And since then, everything has really been going down, down, down for the Nigerian league. So for Rivers United, to have been kicked out of the CAF Champions League is not a surprise. But then we are surprised at the rate the Nigerian Premier Football League is going down. That can also be seen as it does not reflect in the selection of the national team players, from the Premier League team. There are how many players in the Nigerian league are playing, for the Super Eagles. It's a source of worry, but unfortunately, those who are managing are not worried at all, Neto.
16:25 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, we are talking to our correspondent based in West Africa, in Lagos, Nigeria, Nigeria's finest, Tonero Ubani. So Ubani, full vibration in West Africa as the Super Eagles are gearing up for a big test against the Black Stars of Ghana as well as the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire in the African Nations League. Please tell us more.
Yeah, Neto, this is coming from CAF, and indeed, the Super Eagles will be up against their rivals. Talk about perennial rivals, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. You know, when the African Nations League gets underway, the African League will kick off in 2029, according to Confederation of African Football CAF President Patrice Motsepe. The competition will be played across 4 regional zones, and you know, that is North Africa, West Africa, East Africa, and of course, Southern Africa. The zonal winners will then do battle to decide the champions of the Nations League. You know, according to them, the African Nations League will be played every 2 years, and matches will be during the international breaks. CAF planned this competition will go on to be the biggest incoming ahead of the African Cup of Nations. The African Cup of Nations, as you know, Neto, you know, will be staged every 4 years after the 2028 edition. And indeed, the fear, complaint of so many people down in West Africa is that there are bigger teams here. You know, when you see Nigeria, Ghana, and Cote d'Ivoire being locked up, you know, in one group, that means, you know, Africa will definitely be missing some of the very fine legs, you know, because when Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ghana play in one group, that means, you know, some will definitely not get to, you know, be at the final of, you know, the competitions, Neto.
Earlier on, as Ubani, you spoke about the CAF president, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, and I also want to highlight that in the recent executive committee meeting that happened, CAF president Dr. Motsepe also highlighted the possibility of 28 African nations participating in the quadrennial Africa Cup of Nations from 2028 onwards, as we will be transitioning from the biennial tournament from Pamoja in Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya a year before. And my question is, will this compensate for saying goodbye to the biennial tournament, heading into the quadrennial tournament with 28 African nations in a continent that comprises 54 African countries?
I will say no, it will not in any way compensate, because I think that football will be, you know, missing, lacking in Africa, because, you know, making it, you know, a 4-year term, definitely, to me, you know, will be depriving a lot of talents in Africa. If you look at that time lag, you know, I think so many players would have come and gone. And indeed, that's exactly why so many people are equally, you know, blaming that CAF, especially, you know, the president, Motsepe, is dancing towards, you know, FIFA. You know, they are getting a lot of influence from FIFA. And then I think that Africans should be Africans and do their things the way they do. I think the biennial staging of the competition, African Cup of Nations, has come to stay. And of course, it has become big business, because even in the world, I think that anywhere the world, anytime, you know, that the African Cup of Nations is being played, I think the eyes of the world focus on Africa. I think, to me, that is something that we would have adhered to instead of moving it, you know, to 4 years. To me, that would be depriving a lot of you know, people from watching football, you know, every 2 years, Neto.
As we wrap up this conversation, Ubani, except for the beautiful game of football, any latest news in different sporting codes?
Yes, Neto, there is a lot of expectations. So many people are hoping that by tomorrow, that FIFA will be announcing whether Nigeria will join the rest of the world in going for the World Cup in 2026. To be staged in the USA, Canada, and Mexico. You know, remember that Nigeria filed petitions against their neighbors that played. You know, that I do not know where that news is coming from. That by tomorrow, that FIFA will be determining whether DR Congo, you know, will continue, you know, to be at the World Cup, or that they will be overhauled, and then Nigeria is set to play, you know, the last continental tie that will see them qualify for the World Cup if indeed they are successful. So there is so much expectation in Nigeria. Almost everywhere you go, people keep asking you, when is FIFA announcing the results? Is it true that Nigeria will be going to the World Cup? These are the things, that almost everybody is waiting and apprehensive. So we are waiting for tomorrow. I do not know if tomorrow will come, whether it will be joy or whether it will end up in disappointment, Neto.
Tomorrow will undoubtedly come, but whether it comes with good or bad news for the green and white, we will have to wait and see what happens. As we wrap up this conversation, how did we get to this dramatic situation where a lot of people thought DR Congo, if they make it in the playoffs, they will be the 10th African nation to be part of the upcoming FIFA World Cup happening in Canada, Mexico, and the United States of America? People might not understand how is now Nigeria coming back to the picture with a possibility to play at that upcoming World Cup.
Yeah, Neto, it's really been very divisive thing here in Nigeria because almost everybody just, not everybody is happy, that Nigeria is going through what we call backyard, through going through the back door in trying to qualify for the World Cup. So many people are equally irritable, that the Super Eagles did not play their best, and that's why they did not qualify. And trying as much as possible to see if they can, gain entrance through another door. It's, something not so many people like. But all the same, like I keep telling you, the administrators in Nigeria here must do everything possible because that's the only way they live. That's the only way they can make a living. If they can qualify for the World Cup through any means, I think that the government for them will definitely applaud them, whether it is good or bad, Neto.
16:33 Central African Time. Talk about politics in sport, especially in football. That's where you will witness politics galore, and it is the nature of the game. It comes with drama, emotions, and tension, and everyone wants to win. A lot of people are still talking about how the WAFCON tournament, we're not certain whether it's coming to South Africa or whether Morocco will continue to host. It's less than a month heading into the tournament that is originally scheduled for March. That was initially supposed to be hosted by Morocco, who have since pulled a stunt after they lost in the final of the Africa Cup of Nations, going down at the hands of the Senegalese from West Africa, the Teranga Lions, and a lot of people saying if Morocco had won that AFCON, by now this WAFCON would be definitely going to Morocco, and there wouldn't be issues of the Pro Botola League having experienced a delay because of postponements caused by AFCON, because when you say to the matter body of the game, you've got the capacity to host, you've got to be able to demonstrate that you've got the capacity to host and not table problems after having committed. But it's just my thoughts. Thank you so much, Tony Robani. Have an awesome afternoon and a good week ahead. Let's hope tomorrow will favor the green and white.
Thank you so much, the Velvet Voice of Africa.
16:34 Central African Time. That's how we wrap up our conversation with our West African correspondent from the beautiful city of Lagos in Nigeria, Tony Tonero Ubani. Let's now visit the dance floor with the legendary Hugh Masekela Stimela.
Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective.
There's a train that comes from Namibia and Malawi. There's a train that comes from Zambia and Zimbabwe. There's a train that comes from Angola and Mozambique, from Lesotho, from Botswana, from Swaziland, from all the hinterlands of southern and central Africa. This train carries young and old African men who are conscripted to come and work on contract in the gold and mineral mines of Johannesburg and its surrounding metropoli. 16 hours or more a day for almost no pay. Deep, deep, deep down in the belly of the earth, when they are digging and drilling for that shiny, mighty, evasive stone, or when they dish that mishmash food into their iron plates with the iron shovel, or when they sit in their stinky, funky, filthy, flea-ridden barracks and hostels, they think about the loved ones they may never see again because they might already have been forcibly removed from where they last left them, or wantonly murdered in the dead of night by roving and marauding gangs of no particular origin. We are told to think about their lands and their herds that were taken away from them with the gun and the bomb and the tear gas and the Gatling and the cannon. And when they hear that choo-choo train, a chugging and a pumping and a smoking and a pushing and a pumping, crying and a steaming and a chicken and a wah, wah. They always cuss and they curse the coal train that brought them to Johannesburg.
sihamba malahle siveleta la kupayi sangilata wakuqa hey babe but is mama lahle stimela yabo sihamba malate sinele tala kuba helele sangilata wakuqa hey babe but is mama latte paisa we no bati stimela shisa siteni ngengezi kasi yana mambe let me go yeah yene mama bati stimela shisa sikane nisi kala zetu baba masibu yele netalago kala nisi
(16:44) Central African Time. Creativity goes with generations. Whoo! It is the creativity of back in the days. And today, lately, you will hear Neto Chemane closing the show saying, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So we appreciate and embrace every creativity that comes with different generations. That was the legendary Hugh Masekela saying Stimela. As we now go to our voice note from Frankie, all the way from Malawi, who's responding to our topic of the day, where we say, with continued efforts to promote and develop beach soccer on the African continent, Africa is poised to make a significant impact on the global stage. What is the state of beach soccer on the African continent, and what can be done to promote it among young people so that it spreads across the continent? Let's find out what are the thoughts of Mr. Frankie.
Yes, beach soccer is indeed one of the upcoming sports. But I think the challenge has been we have not been given enough support from the key stakeholders. In this case, we are looking at the corporate world in terms of sponsoring beach soccer. So for me, I think what we can do for beach soccer to grow, one, we need to have deliberate policies by the government to make sure that beach soccer is being promoted. There are some schools that are along the Lakeshore Road where beach soccer is played. We can also have special programs for such type of schools to have deliberate activities where students will be playing beach soccer. Important to mention is that we would want to have at least well-established sponsorship of beach soccer in Africa. And then lastly, we don't have an established calendar for beach soccer. You can have, for example, beach soccer this year, national tournament, international tournament, and then next year you don't have it, So we really need to have an established, calendar of events for the beach soccer. Starting from for example, in our case, Southern Africa, we are supposed to have COSAFA. Like last year, we were supposed to have it, but it didn't took place. Why? Because no country showed interest to host or to host the tournament. So we need to have that structure, a very well established, structured, and we should be knowing that by such a month we're going to have COSAFA, such a month we're going to have Africa beach soccer, CAF, and so on and so forth. So these are the areas that we need to work on. One, on having the established calendar where we are able to know when we are going to do what. And then secondly, we need to have deliberate policy to sponsor beach soccer. And then also having beach soccer in schools that are around Lakeshore. I think these are the comments that I can give. Thank you so much. This is Frank Chisambula from Malawi. I'm the General Secretary for Beach Soccer Association in Malawi. Thank you so much.
16:48 Central African Time. Thank you to the General Secretary of Beach Soccer in Malawi, right here in Southern Africa, for sharing his thoughts on our topic of the day. Let's update you about matches that are currently underway in the CAF Confederation Cup. Maniema of the Democratic Republic of Congo are leading by 3-0, leading Nairobi United of Kenya, and the match is currently on a halftime break, and one is wondering if Nairobi United will be able to score 3 goals in the second half, or will Maniema continue where they've left off? That's the beauty of the game. In another match that is played for 45 minutes with 3 minutes of referee's optional time, it is a match between Wydad Athletic Club of Morocco, who are up against Azam of Tanzania, and as it stands, it is in a 0-0 draw, and the match will be going on a halftime break in just a moment. Tracing other fixtures that are currently ongoing, it is in Ligue 1 in France, where Le Havre is up against Toulouse, and it's currently 1-1, and that match will be going on a halftime break any moment from now on. 45 minutes regulation time has been played with 4 minutes referee's optional time, and it is now 16:49 Central African Time. We take a short break. When we come back, we'll find out what's coming up on Mix Vibration with Annie Kalonji.
Hi there. Do you want to elevate your business and give it a voice in South Africa and Africa as a whole? Well, in that case, let Channel Africa make this a possibility. Channel Africa is willing to advertise your business for as little as 30,000 rands or $1,719.18. To get access to these great rates, send all requests to mukwenata@SABC. That's MOKOENATA@SABC. Channel Africa, the African perspective. 180 minutes on the world of sports and music. That's Africa at Play with Neto Chemane on Channel Africa from an African perspective.
16:50 Central African Time. A very warm welcome if you have just joined us. We are counting down a goodbye moment, but we can never say goodbye without finding out from the Mix Vibration team what's coming up. Annie Kalonji, ready for what's still coming up.
Bonjour Neto, bonjour à tous les auditeurs de Channel Africa, tous ceux qui aiment Mix Vibration. Alors on se retrouve tout à l'heure dans à peu près 10 minutes pour commencer, n'est-ce pas, notre émission, pour commencer avec des bonnes vibes, n'est-ce pas, après la journée de la Saint-Valentin hier. J'espère que vous l'avez bien passé. Nous continuons dans cette même ambiance et nous allons jouer de la bonne musique comme nous le faisons tous les week-ends. Et aussi, nous allons nous entretenir aujourd'hui avec un écrivain. Il s'appelle Daniel Kousmanas. Avec lui, nous allons parler de son dernier livre, ou bien son livre qu'il a publié l'année dernière, au mois de novembre. Donc, c'est tout à l'heure sur Miss Vibration. Je vous invite à rester connectés afin de découvrir de quoi il s'agit dans ce roman. Merci beaucoup, Neto.
Merci beaucoup. Just stay tuned to Channel Africa from an African perspective with Mix Vibration coming your way in the language of French as we continue to broadcast to the world in 5 different languages. French, as I've mentioned, including Portuguese, English, Chinyanja, and Kiswahili. Let's continue to update you on fixtures that are currently underway in the German Bundesliga. A match between FC Augsburg and Heidenheim is currently 0-0. 22 minutes of football has been played, and in Italy it is a match between Cremonese versus Genoa, and it is also 0-0, and that match is on a halftime break. Another match on a halftime break, 1-1 between Parma and Verona. Then there is a match in Netherlands in Eredivisie where we are witnessing Heerenveen up against Zwolle, and it is 2-2 as it stands. 62 minutes of football has been played, while Telstar leads 20 by a goal to nil after 64 minutes of football has been played. In South Africa, in the Betway Premiership, Sekhukhune United lead Orbit College Mswangwa Boys by a goal to nil, while in the La Liga it is a match between Oviedo and Arthur Bilbao, and it is currently 2-1 in favor of Arthur Bilbao. 90 minutes regulation time has been played with 6 minutes referee's optional time, and that's what happens in football. They say 6 minutes in football is a long time, so anything is possible. Perhaps Oviedo can find that late equalizer, or Athbilau can protect their lead. 16:53 Central African time. We're saying goodbye, but we will be back next week, Saturday and Sunday, 2 to 5 p.m. Central African time. Thank you to Tidimalo, Tito Fabulous Makau, our sound engineer, to Miss Lema, our social media guru, as well as Sebenzi Lemsindo, who is our audiovisual streaming specialist. Not forgetting my producer, Andisi Wefagimalu Zobona Mali, and from the rest of the Africa at Play team, thank you for listening. My name is Neto, Neto Chemane. Hosiati, Konyangazi, Mumka, Japandle Gonjani, Moyani, Vogovogo Tendele. Africa at Play, asteleli siyashaya. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.